We are live.
I just got this great visual of Dee Dee pushing buttons that she doesn't know. What does this button do?
Hit that button. We are recording.
Idols are a religion.
Hello? Check, check, check. Czech Republic. Check, check, check. Czech sex slaves. Wait, what?
There we go.
Multi-kill.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I don't have that dropping.
That was loud as fuck, too. Did you lean on the wrong button or something?
No, I pressed that on purpose. Did not know how loud it was, but that's okay.
This is NTR in the morning. That actually has a really bad...
Yeah, that NTR at any point in time is
in the morning. That has a really bad... I can't even think of the right word I want to say. See, this is what I'm talking about. Being sick.
That's what happens.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Let me get the notebook. Hey, I have the notebook in place this time. Getting better at this.
Yeah. Why do you need the notebook?
To write down timestamps to make editing easier.
Makes sense.
So I don't have to search because there's really no line of demarcation between when I pause the recording to go to a break and when we come back to the break.
See, this is like the casting couch part of the show, where the things behind the scenes occur.
In light of current events,
that's probably not a good idea.
Let's probably not name it the casting couch.
No. R2 Me Too.
Matter of fact, in light of current events.
Jesus. Fucking dude.
Beat means no, Louis.
So you want to be an idol, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh no! Wake up, girls! Get the ammonia. Get some smelling salts in here.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yamakan's done it again.
There was a thing on Sankaku.
Of course, there is a thing on there.
One of the Love Live voice actresses said that like her fans smelled.
Take a bath, man.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Please bathe.
Step in the fucking shower.
Seriously.
Get some soap.
We're gonna need those industrial strength hoses to start hosing down fans.
Just start sandblasting people as they walk into the Love Live event.
Or have those like I said, industrial power hoses up to a hydrant. You know,
you have to have people in like hazmat suits with their suits tucked into their boots and gloves.
They're wearing like radiation symbols.
Masks.
Oh, this is what it says.
Just decontaminating people, delousing powder.
Say when singing idol, Rikako Ida has urged fans attending the Aqua's third Love Live tour concerts to improve their personal hygiene.
Well, here's the thing. Depending on how she said it, that might actually encourage some people to, shower.
Yeah,
maybe she's improving lives, people. All right, she's improving the lifestyles of otaku by.
I just got this funny visual of
maybe this idol girl is the only person they'll listen to when told to shower.
Awkward, sponsored by Dove.
I just want some dojins of
fat stinky motherfuckers.
So you mean dojins as they already exist right now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. You know, like how when you're driving on the road and it's really hot and you can see the steam come off the road and it looks like there's water?
Oh, yeah, it's the mirage effect.
Yeah, exactly. It freaks me out every time it happens, but... Just imagine like you see like an army of fans, and all it looks like is like a dank fucking puddle of water.
You look out. You look out in the crowd. All the the air looks wavy.
Oh.
You can see
It's yellow.
Like rotting vegetation, bad ventilation systems or something. That's disgusting.
Here's the thing: if the smell was coming from the idols themselves, then you get sneaky interested.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
no,
yeah.
That would be a selling point.
Oh yeah.
Smelly idols. Let's market that.
There you go.
It's like bud hair. Now I'm interested.
Yeah, exactly.
He actually said that.
Hairy, smelly idols.
Yes.
Okay. Let's start the show.
Let's get going before this gets too much more disgusting.
Okay, hit that button. Hit this timestamp.
Refrigeration failed. It's like that scene in that fucking game Chrono Trigger where they're in the future and there's like no food and everything failed and it's dead and smells bad and good times.
Get.
Sorry.
I like that picture.
There we go. That's all set. Let's link that up.
There's one show for you, K-Gods.
Well, we can talk about that later.
Yeah, I know definitely like up your. I know you hate that saying up your alley.
Up your urethra.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Need some water. Too bad you don't got a drop in for like a bass beat.
I need to find the beat they used in that sketch.
Hey,
Where's my snare? All right. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome to NTR Radio. I'm Tom Force Anubis.
I'm K-Gods.
I'm VC Mark II.
And you know what we do here at NTR Radio? We keep it 100.
Headshot.
Yeah.
Multi-kill. Excellent.
100. I like how in video games, like they'll do the 101% or something ridiculous like that, or 102.7% or some bullshit. It's like, why? 100% is pretty much the idea.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to do that. You can just make 100% more stuff.
Well, it's like Armored Core 2 had like game
Why do I
completion percentage 100%, except there's 3 extra missions that you can get to a max of 103%.
Of course. It reminds me so much of that freaking Spinal Tap bit. It's like, our amps go to 11. It's like, well, why don't you just make 10 louder?
Exactly.
It's like, our amps go to 11. Just like,
this one goes.
he's not getting it.
I understand.
It's like, so why doesn't, yeah. Anyway, we should probably let them know we're in the chat. And
so here's what you do to get involved with the show when listening live. You go to ntrradio.net. Click the chat link. That'll take you to the page where you put your name in and click the button to join us in the IRC channel. Alternatively, you can take your favorite IRC client, point it at irc.ryzen.net, and we are in the # SOC media channel. In addition, you can add us on Twitter at TEAnubis, at VZMK2, at immortal_KGods.
I love how I've just
that, the email box is ntrradio@gmail.com.
I love how because of me having to change my handle, you've had to move my name.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're gonna use the wrong URL basically.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not gonna say why I've been away.
I'll say why I have. Dude, I have been so fucking sick. It's not even funny. Like, put it this way. The allergies are so bad right now. Put it this way. The nasal spray they gave me is over a month old. That's how bad it's been.
I'll just say for me, if you really want to know, just go direct message to my Twitter. I'll talk about it, but I won't say the actual.
So, fun stuff like that.
I figure we can just chalk all elements of this delay up to the cosmic forces that really don't want NTR Radio to go on.
See, they were especially in it this time. Simply, yeah, I'm still sick. I'm gonna fuck up. So there you go. The cosmic forces that are in on this don't want us to do the 100th episode. Clearly,
no, they didn't want this to happen. But they can go fuck themselves. We're doing episode 100.
Yep. I'm still sick. I might not sound like it, but I am. And I apparently have an ear infection in my left ear and possibly Ebola.
Possibly Ebola.
Yeah.
We don't know for sure this time. The other two times we were sure.
Hepatitis Z or some shit.
Is it Ebola Chan?
I don't know. In any case, if I'm slurring or I can't think of what I'm trying to say, that's why. My tongue appears to be swollen.
Still reeling from an attack from the cosmic forces that really, really don't like this podcast.
Quite frankly, I don't even think this is Lovecraftian. I think Greek gods and shit are involved too.
Oh yeah, well no, it's the Lovecraft people got in touch with Zeus and Poseidon and all that. It's
or
like, hey,
or maybe the like Loki or the more trickster people or some shit.
Like all
from the Nordic pantheon.
All the pantheons that are like outdated got together got called up by all these Lovecraftian creatures and like, hey, listen, we really need your help. There's this one anime podcast that's like, we throw all our best shit at them and they just keep going. I don't know and Zeus is like, hold on, I got this.
Yeah.
Did the Egyptian gods factor into this?
No, because they're on my side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
They're probably the only thing that's keeping us alive.
That's right.
Maybe so. Fucking, I don't know, maybe some Kali death goddess worshippers are after us or something. Who knows?
The Greek gods will call their twins the Roman gods.
Kali Ma. That scene from Temple of Doom, where they're trying to rip hearts out. Kali Ma.
It's like okay, guys, you and I were joking about this the other day. Like, if all three of us got together in one location physically, we'd all be in mortal danger. Like, they could just strike at one place.
Oh yeah, like if we all
take us all out.
Like if we all went to Anime NYC, there would just be like Sandy Part 3 or something, and it'd be five times worse.
Well, they'd have to make sure. So like the whole convention center would just collapse spontaneously.
An asteroid.
Yeah.
Hit us. It would only hit
a small
asteroid.
The asteroid enters Earth's atmosphere, splits into 3, and hits all 3 of us in the head simultaneously.
Or it just knocks
3 of us.
Or it just hits the pillar and crushes the building we're in.
It's like Seth Rod's attack in Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, fucking! Don't you just love how the summons in that game get ridiculous? Like the more they go on, it's like you got like Bahamut shows up. He's out in space, and he fires his breath down, and then it hits like the area the enemy is on and shit. I mean, it gets ridiculous. That's why you only watch those summons like one time, and then you're just like, I'm gonna use other attacks. I don't want to wait for that anymore.
You summon the creature, then put the controller down, go make a snack.
And it's like, okay, when I get back, this thing will totally be dead, and I'll have collected the XP and the gil or whatever you're playing. Drop some Phoenix Downs or Phoenix Down syndrome.
Well, this is what. Well, this is what I like about the Lunar series. So you can like actually do that. You just set your characters to AI, and have them do out the battle for you.
I mean, you can do that on some of the old Breath of Fire stuff too. It's like A/B auto battle. So if you're just grinding,
yeah, I remember that.
Oh, you played that?
I have watched my friends play Breath of Fires 3 and 4, I believe.
3 is probably the best one, I think.
From what I saw of 3, I really enjoyed a lot of the characters from that.
You would like Breath of Fire 3, just knowing your personality. Like I can see fangirls really getting giddy over like Tipo or something. You know, it's like, ooh, Shota. You know, I don't know if you even know what the fuck I'm talking about. But
I know exactly what you're talking about. That's what's hilarious to me about it.
Okay.
Was that the one on the Super Nintendo?
No, this was for PlayStation, the original PlayStation. So that's my excuse if I sound like crap or I sound like I'm fumbling for words. I actually am. Don't nail me with that too hardly. Too hardly? What the fuck?
Okay, that one I'm gonna give you the drop in for.
Yeah,
it's the only time I'm gonna do it.
Okay, yeah. I deserve that. but you see what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you.
I got goods, so.
Yeah, so
Advanced
in the
capitalism,
meantime,
let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the meantime, a lot of interesting things have happened.
Yes, indeed.
Well, this will come back a little later, but Darling in the Franxx will feature. Let's just say that.
I like
because there's more stupidity.
Yes.
A lot of it actually.
Let's set up some capitalism.
Is this one show just like sort of the focal point of all the bullshit this season?
It kind of is.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy it and everything, but I mean, I'm not getting why it's this freaking.
Didn't the one character isn't the one character pregnant now?
I don't know. I haven't caught completely up.
Yeah, I've only watched like
So thanks for the spoilers, man.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know. The one that looks like Takane from Idolmaster.
So this is our 100th episode. I think we ought to kind of reflect on that a little bit. I don't even know too many anime podcasts that even make it that far.
Anime World Order.
That's
but they've been around a lot longer.
Yeah, they've been around for like ever.
And they don't update. They update less than we did.
Actually, the last episode they talked about the show you like, Anubis. That maybe I should try it out.
Which one?
The Girls Last Tour.
It's really good. You should really try it. That's so great.
Anubis, it sounds like somebody pinched your ass. You're just like.
It's a really good show, and everyone should really watch it.
That, or it sounds like you're trying to do the Stewie thing, where his voice gets higher every time he says anything.
Light novel you're talking about?
Is he working on a novel? You know, like,
light novel. Protagonist goes into a fantasy land. Gonna write some ECK.
I actually have something relating to that when we get into capitalism.
Oh boy.
Okay. So first off, I'd like to thank our good listener friend, Tsukuyomi Magi 99, because during these let's just say less than fun weeks I've had
trying times.
Yes. He sent me this.
You're gonna
what is it? Because this is an audio podcast.
It's a podcast.
Well, I'm gonna say what it is. It is Aiko from the Idolmaster. It's a Crane Prize figure, but it is huge.
And the wind has clearly blown up her dress.
Yes.
From behind. Yes.
It's giving out a little flower. Grenade. And I got some manga. Not too surprising what it is. Laid Back Camp 1 and 2.
That's not what I thought you were going to say. That's all I'm going to say on the subject.
Okay.
Why? What did you think I was going to get?
Now I'm curious, yes.
No, you don't want to know that. Maybe in the break.
Okay. All right.
Something hyper edgy or something.
Black time? No, I'm kidding.
Nah, I ain't gonna report that.
Would anybody actually? If I saw it, I'd probably would buy it. Just to make a joke about it.
Right.
But I don't think they would stop that because it has scat in it.
Hey, that doesn't mean anything. Somebody out there might.
At a con?
Oh, I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying some random fucking dude in an alley. I don't know.
Yes, you're gonna buy doujinshi from some random dude in an alley.
Yes.
That's not sketchy at all. That doesn't seem extremely dangerous at all. Let's all do that.
They'll just like open up their coat like Matrix style, and it'll just have like, instead of flashing, it'll just have like these little compartments where the doujinshi are kind of like hanging in little compartments to where you can see them. And it's just like, choose your destiny. Some kind of.
And like they're all nice and like in freaking plastic cases too.
Yeah, it's just like you just hear that over, like the voiceover going like Shao Kahn, like, you know, choose your destiny. Excellent. That's as good as I'm gonna get out of that. But so didn't watch a whole lot. I've been sick, but did end up watching a lot of Frasier.
Okay, go on.
First off, now the theme song is permanently lodged in my head. Are you okay, man? The visual, like if you can't see this, he looks like he's about to drop.
No, keep going.
I don't know if I watched any of Frasier.
It ran for 11 years.
I know.
But anyway, I couldn't
say I've never watched any Frasier on purpose. I may have caught glimpses of Frasier at some point in time, but I've never actually sat down and watched any Frasier.
Well, it's one of those things where when it first came out, I was about 10. So naturally I didn't like it at all. And now as an adult, it's more comical to me. I don't know if you know what I mean by that, in the sense where there's like a show, you've seen it as a kid, and then like you're just kind of like, eh. And then when you're an adult, it's like, oh, now I get it.
That was me in Seinfeld. I didn't watch Seinfeld until it ended. Till after.
Interesting. Well, the point is, it's pretty comical. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have seen it, considering it was very popular at one point. And one of the things that was funny is the main guy, Frasier, he hosts a radio show, and that's what made me think of it, because, you know, podcasting. And he's basically taking calls from people, from those who haven't seen it, all 5 of you. Our audience probably hasn't seen it.
It's funny. 2 of the 5 of us are in this podcast right now.
Let me tell you the last sitcom that I really...
Well, hang on. Yeah, just 1 second. And basically, he's kind of being driven batty by his own patients.
Yeah.
It's pretty comical. And he's got a brother who's just as eccentric and, you know, off kilter as he is. And they're both psychiatrists. So, but the best part is the dad, because the dad is just really normal, kind of like Red off of that 70s show or something like that. Just like kind of the straight shooter kind of guy. He was a cop. And when all 3 of them were like talking, it's really fucking funny, because they're babbling off just on, and he's just looking at between them like, where in the fuck am I at? It's pretty fun. But when you're sick, you know, it's easy to marathon stuff, either because it's running on and on and on, or you just don't feel like getting up. Anyway, go on. You were talking about a sitcom.
The last sitcom that I really got into was Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah, which could never get into that one. I'm kind of picky with sitcoms, and there's some of them that they're kind of just so middle of the road. I'm like, eh. if there's nothing else on,
Right.
and I'm stuck in like the airport or something, Actually, if that happened, I'd probably just be on my phone. You know what I mean? Fuck that. So, not a whole lot of Everyone Loves Raymond or King of Queens or some shit like that. Just kind of middle of the road. I do like Seinfeld though.
Seinfeld's good. I enjoy Seinfeld.
How can you not like Kramer just walking in with those facial expressions like, hey? Did you ever see the one? Yeah, I know we're talking about sitcoms now.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you ever see the one though? Did you ever see the one where they meet Jimmy and he's talking in third person the entire fucking time?
There's no way I'd remember that. I only remember a few episodes of Seinfeld.
Oh, it's fantastic because Kramer is supposed to be like auditioning these fancy shoes for like a basketball like company or whatever, kind of like a Nike sponsorship kind of thing.
Right.
And on the day he goes to do it or whatever, he comes out, he has to go to the dentist and he comes out and he's all numb from the Novocaine and he's wearing these goofy fucking shoes. And like he stops and hails a cab and this old guy does too. And the old guy thinks he's retarded. Because the way he's talking, because the Novocaine, it's pretty funny. Anyway, what have you been up to?
Well, I've watched a couple things.
That's good.
But first things first, I feel like I'm starting to get over my thing about long ass light novel titles.
Is it because you can actually pronounce them now?
Well, no, because like some of these are actually pretty amusing. Because I picked up this one light novel. I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level.
So it's basically someone who's been playing Dragon Quest.
But yes, so it's about this office lady who dies from overworking and wakes up in a fantasy world. And she's like, wow, yeah, okay, I can dig this. I'm gonna just kill like 4 slimes a day so I can live and take it easy for the rest of my life. 300 years later, she's level 99. And it goes on from there.
9,999 hit points.
Yeah, exactly.
255 defense, and it wasn't that like the big number back then on old consoles. 255.
Because I know I learned what this limitation was. And
I heard about it. I don't remember though.
Because like a lot,
if I'm see a lot of old, it's also like, the amount of rupees you can have in the original Zelda.
Yeah, that limitation is pretty common. I don't remember what it was, but like if you look at a lot of old school forums, will have like your signature can only be 255 characters long, stuff like that.
Right, it has something probably to do with that.
It's like a memory thing, I believe.
Yeah, as opposed to like Chrono Trigger, where like everything, your main things like speed and whatnot went up to like 16 or something. And it just goes into stars instead of like a number or some shit like that.
Okay, Morning Rise in the IRC 255 is 8 bits, which is why it's that limitation.
Okay, that makes sense. Again, I'm pretty sure that's also like the maximum number for a lot of like stats and RPGs too. Like even like 16-bit ones though.
Yeah, well, and that makes sense. But
yeah,
I did watch some other stuff. I actually watched a documentary over the course of.
Holy shit!
Yeah, no, it was pretty good. It was on A&E. It was called Kids on the Slope.
Did not see you go in there. Honestly, did not see that one coming. Not at all. I thought you were gonna say it was called Blacked or something. Or something by Brazers.
But no, so I actually did. I'm like
Brazzers, whatever the fuck it is.
9-10 episodes into Kids on the Slope, and I'm upset because the show's really good, and everyone who was big up on it in mid 2012 completely abandoned it by the time 2013 ran around.
Wow.
And it's actually really good. And I don't know. And once again, I'm right. I don't want to be, because show got fucking abandoned. It's a really good show. It's
as soon as it was over, it pretty much disappeared like a fart in a hurricane.
Yeah, exactly. Which didn't
Space Dandy did the
deserve
same
that
thing.
treatment because it was Space Dandy got the same thing. Didn't deserve that treatment because it was a really good show.
Even though I think that hairstyle is completely stupid. Sorry. Sorry, anybody that listens to our show that actually that has that hairstyle.
Well, no, it's like it's got some real compelling drama, really characters characters that draw you in, you can get behind, and the soundtrack is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, it's like jazz.
Oh yeah, which again, I might be biased because I'm the jazz guy.
He's the jazz man.
It's really good soundtrack.
That one's bad.
It's a really good soundtrack, and people should pay attention to it.
For people who don't know, there actually is a song called that, Jazzman. It's by Carole King, right?
I have no idea.
Fuck, I can't remember. Something like that. I'm probably crossing the fucking names. It's probably like an author or something. It's just like,
No, so I watched a lot of that. I watched some Overlord.
How is that?
It's, as far as I've watched, which is like 2 or 3 episodes, it's pretty good. Oh, bro, it's kind of came in kind of the same wave.
I know Morathile likes it.
Yeah, and that's the reason I started watching it. But came in sort of the same wave as like the Sword Art Online's and all that, where it's like trapped in the game, Sword Art Online's and Log Horizons and whatnot.
Yep.
But instead, like, this guy's the only guy trapped in the game like this with all his NPCs, and the NPCs are acting like real people now.
You know, I always wondered if anybody's ever done that. They've woken up and decided to treat their day like they're talking to NPCs in a game. I always thought that would be an interesting experiment. I'm sure somebody's done it. Considering all the nerds out there, come on, somebody's had to have done it. But have they taped themselves doing it?
Yeah, exactly. Need video proof.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I still need to catch up on some Gun Gale Online, but I'm really enjoying that.
Right. And by the way, that was her, Carole King, Jazzman.
Gotcha.
Okay, I thought so. I couldn't remember. My memory's still working, apparently.
And other than that, that's about it for me.
I mean, I did catch up with Darling in the Franxx. I mean, I'm not caught up 100%, but I'm pretty good chunk into it. Let's see, what else did I watch? I watched a couple of more Dragon Ball Super episodes just when I was laying there sick. Because why not? I contemplated breaking my breaking my bank because fucking a couple of things have come out now, like Bubblegum Crisis on Blu-ray and all that.
Yeah, I'll probably get that down.
I'm very tempted because I love the show so much.
Yeah. You know what else is coming out later this year?
What?
Angel Cop.
Yeah, I actually saw that. Isn't it Discotech?
Yes.
Of course it's fucking Discotech. Who else would bring that over here?
Also the Devilman OVAs.
Yes, I'm very happy about that. Oh, did you guys know Go Nagai is going to be at Expo this year?
Yeah.
I'm so upset by that that I can't go now. Morning Rise. Right now I'm trying to justify $800 for Legend of Galactic Heroes.
Oh
yeah.
I'm with you on that, Morning Rise. It's like it's really good, but it's like
I'm not justifying that though. I'm not, you're gonna have to bring that one down.
That's one of those ones where someone asks you how much you paid for, and you're like, "Don't ask."
I'm not telling you that.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. It's just like somebody wakes up without pants on. They're just kind of like they don't know what happened, and they're like, "I don't want to talk about it."
I'm gonna hate myself when they solicit Blendes by Aniplex.
Oh yeah. Speaking of that, anything from Aniplex recently that they put out? I need to know what is potentially going to break my bank.
Well, Arrow Manga Sensei, the first half.
Right. Which, my girlfriend's already got that, I believe, but she imported it.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, before the, let's say.
Oh, we forgot. It's Father's Day.
Oh
yeah, Gendo Ikari.
Onichichi. I made that joke and some people didn't get it. I'm like, oh, okay. You probably don't want to.
Yeah, exactly.
Granted.
What I'm watching?
What now?
Can I talk what I was seeing?
Oh, sure.
So just before stuff happened, I watched Violent Evergarden. It is really good.
Yeah, I saw like one episode of it on demand, I think.
It's really good. It's a little slow in a few places, but it's worth it. The only way I could describe it is like if Kyoani did Fullmetal Alchemist without the cringy humor. And gorgeous production values.
Naturally.
Well, I could tell. I noticed that.
It kind of has that. I don't know if steampunk is the word, like post steampunk, like turn of the.
Don't mention steampunk. There's already some bullshit going on with that.
Okay. That sort of turn of the century type of look, European look,
right,
to it. And
I'm kind of teasing it. There was just some idiot screeching, "You can't make a cyberpunk thing without a critique of capitalism."
Oh,
God. And I'm like, will you just go the fuck away?
Where's the critique of capitalism in Bubblegum Crisis?
Ha.
Other than maybe Gendo Corp, but that
you mean Genom?
Genom Corp.
You said Gendo Corp.
That was actually what was reflecting at the time in Japan. If you knew what.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's far and away not the first instance of big megacorps being this evil government kind of entity.
Well, to be fair, the whole megacorporations supplanting government thing is
hardly new.
Yeah, it's a staple of cyberpunk
and science fiction in general.
A lot of sci-fi in general. My whole thing is we can do that as a backdrop. We don't need the whole thing to be about taking down the huge mega corporation.
Yeah.
Armored Core does that a whole lot, where it's like,
oddly enough, so does Final Fantasy VII. It's called Shinra.
Yep.
Although that's a little more than just in the background because they're constantly dealing with it.
Well, yeah. The thing about the way Armored Core does it is, okay, the corporations have taken over the world, and now you're a mercenary working for these corporations.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you're rebelling against the corporations, though in some games it is like that.
Announcement.
They're the government, and you're working for they're the various governments competing, and you're working for them.
We have an announcement. Faku says, Faku, we are proud to announce we are bringing Ishike as our guest of honor to Anime Expo.
Oh, wow.
Again, figures. I actually have his works.
Speaking of cyberpunk, something I actually did watch that's on TV now. I figured this will be good discussion too. The live action Ghost in the Shell movie.
Oh, okay. I watched this a while back.
It actually wasn't as bad as I was expecting. But
George
so
and
much of it is literally
sorry.
Yeah. So much of it is literally just copied from the anime movie.
George says, isn't FF7 more like steampunk, etherpunk? Yeah, pretty much.
It's more like diesel punk, actually.
Yeah.
I suppose. I love the fact that even in such a situation, they still have swords.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
It's fine.
Well, isn't that kind of just anachronistic or something? Like the RPGs kind of do that. It's like same with Chrono Trigger. You know, you can go like to 2,300, you know, the year, but people still have, you know, but what you can still get sword weapons.
Well, it's like Phantasy Star.
Yeah.
Why does anyone have a lightsaber? Everyone should just have a gun and maybe a laser dagger for if you even ever get that close.
Or it's like grafted into the arm or something.
Yeah. But no, with the live action Ghost in the Shell, not a bad film.
No.
But easily my least favorite work of working Ghost in the Shell, and easily my least favorite incarnation of Major Kusanagi.
Yeah, nothing against her or anything, Scarlet or anything. Just I don't know.
Well, here's my problem, which I already knew even before I saw it when I heard what they were gonna do. Okay. It's kind of the problem with it's kind of the difference between Japanese media and Western media is that Western media sort of like okay, so all right, I'll start with the Japanese media that it presents an idea, and it's up to you to decide if it's moral or not. And in this case, the idea is that you know. People become cyborgs and are able to upload their conscience and all that. But it presents the idea, but it's only up to the audience. To the movie itself or the anime itself doesn't tell you what you should think.
Well, no.
All right. The movie presents it's as a moral question. Because they basically made it sort of like a RoboCop thing where
speaking of Megacorps and
later on and her mother is Japanese and that's why ScarJo is because it's not her real body.
Mm-hmm.
So they that's like but man, there were some scenes that were literally copied from the anime movie.
Oh yeah.
Well, that was probably by design, though.
On purpose.
Yeah. The tank part at the end with then like the muscle growing.
Yep.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The spider tank part, the boat scene.
Also the jumping off the building and turning.
Yeah, well, we all knew that was going to be in there.
Yeah,
because that's in every work of it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
also,
that one fight with the dude in the shallow water.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Oh, that's actually one of my favorite scenes in the anime movie. Like, because it almost looks like the whole. You've seen Predator, right?
Yeah.
It reminds me of that. You know how when it's running through the jungle, you can kind of see it.
Yeah, yeah.
It almost looks like some kind of bizarre, distorted parallax or something.
Yeah,
weird.
Exactly.
Yeah. Modern Rice says, I remember the complaints of whitewashing when they announced.
Yeah, Japan didn't even care about that though.
Yeah, no.
And quite frankly, if they don't care about it, I don't care about it.
And realistically, there was a good reason that it was a non-Japanese person playing the major that played out in the film. So there's an in-story reason for that to be happening. But I'll tell you, the thing I liked least about it is what you were going on, VZ. Because in the anime and the manga, the major isn't the only one who's like a full cyborg.
No, plenty are.
Plenty of people are. But in the Hollywood movie, that's the situation. Like the major's the first of her kind.
Okay.
And so what that does is like all these moral dilemmas and the questions are right and wrong and whatnot are played out through the major rather than through society as a whole.
Right, which to be fair, I think the TV series handles that aspect of it better.
Oh yeah.
Anyway than the movie did because it builds the characters and you get to see more, like, speaking of NPCs and whatnot, basically like non-main characters and how they interact with their environment.
Yeah, exactly.
And like certain groups of people don't even eat food, you know, or like real food. It's just like,
well, that's why I like.
But some people do just because they like the taste, but not because they have to.
Yeah, well,
stuff like that.
people could drink alcohol, but they could break it down easily.
Shit like
Right.
that, yeah. I mean, and these are all really interesting ideas and whatnot. I mean, and it's, again, not hardly the first time they've been.
Also, Basset Hounds were in it, which is an Oshi thing, not a.
You're right.
That's
Also,
an Oshi thing.
It's the reason I think both Ghost in the Shell and Pat Labor work better as TV series. Because there's a lot of world building.
I'll agree with
both
that.
of them. And
I need to see the TV series of Pat Labor.
Same here.
I've seen
a little bit of it, and I've seen that one movie I watched. But other than that, I need to actually get into Pat Labor.
The OVAs,
in the chat, of course, Japan didn't care. No, they wanted to look at Scarlet too.
No, but here's the thing. There was this cringeworthy PSA that came out around that time where there's like, this Asian girl who they show her as a little girl picking up the copy of the Ghost in the Shell manga. I'm like, it's like the situation never happened because it's not a manga for children.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh hell no!
And then she grows up, and it's like she's disappointed.
It's not that it's like gory or anything like that. It's just adult-minded.
Well, here's
that's the one scene that they.
Well, yeah, in the manga, yeah, for sure, but
even still, it's like that's not a kid's manga. That's
not
there's a few parts in this story that they're telling where that stream is interrupted. Number one, she probably shouldn't even be reading the manga in the first place. It's not for children. Number two, so let's forget number one, which is the primary objection. Number two, so she picks out the manga and she starts reading through it. Say, hey, I'm really getting into Ghost in the Shell. And so naturally she watches the movie, she watches Standalone Complex, all that innocence, bringing solid state society and whatnot. And judging by the experience of other fans of Ghost in the Shell, is that movie even on her radar? Like, how many hardcore Ghost in the Shell people who have been into it for years were really pumped about the Hollywood movie for Ghost in the Shell? And again, not saying it's a bad movie, it's a good movie, but I don't know.
Yeah, but
so many people who are really pumped about it who are already into Ghost in the Shell.
Like in that PSA, they just brought up the manga.
Yeah, that's my point. Is that all right? Let's play a game. It's called Play It Out. You take the situation and let's play it all the way out to the end. And play it out to the end. Homegirl isn't even. The movie isn't even on her radar. She's not pumped about it because if she's already into Ghost in the Shell, judging by the reactions of other people who are already into Ghost in the Shell, it's not a real big thing to her, and she doesn't care.
We should probably be getting to the break here.
Yeah. Oh, well, actually, one more thing, and then we'll get to the break. So I've been continuing with the other stuff in this season. I dropped, or at least I postponed, the Cutie Honey universe.
Okay. Yeah, I honestly still need to catch up with that.
Yeah, I'll just watch the OVAs if I want more. If I actually want Cutie Honey. But what is it? I'm still watching Comic Girls, which is it's all right. It's not the best of its type.
A&N doesn't believe that. We'll get to that a little later.
What's the other one I'm watching? Gundam Bill Divers still.
I need to catch up on that.
And Alice, which I know you hate that title.
It's just a silly sounding title. The show's probably fine. I just don't like the name.
Yeah, it's cute for sure.
Then again, I hated Kitty Grade too. I thought that was a stupid name.
Well, just because it sounds like something else.
Yeah, it sounds like something completely different.
All right, I guess we'll go to the break now.
That is indeed the break. You listen to NTR Radio. Keep it right here.
Okay.
Write the number down.
And now for hemorrhoid commercials.
Yeah.
be some anti-itch cream. All right, I'm going to go get some water.
Need some water.
Yeah, I do. I am thirsty.
You know what I forgot to mention
What?
in the break that I saw, but that's all right. I could just say here. I saw the Gochi Uso OVA.
Ah.
That was great. That was great. Shit. Sorry about that. But you would like Violet Evergarden, Anubis.
I'm back.
I've actually been meaning to check it out for a while.
It's really good. This actually it's.
Hang on a second here.
There's a war in the backdrop of the story.
Right.
It's not. It's more in the main character's backstory. Because all she knew was fighting.
Right.
I'm back.
And so she's like basically hyper stoic. And doesn't has trouble expressing emotion, which kind of is counterproductive to her job, which is basically her job is that she's a letter writer, like typewriter letter writer, for people who don't write letters.
Hey guys, there's a Happy Father's Day thing, and it's Goku and Gohan. Shouldn't that be Piccolo? I mean, really. Sorry, he did kind of raise him.
Yeah, that is true in a way.
What do we got here? Hit up anime films in the theater. Yeah, I've been doing stuff like that more recently too. Like I saw the No Game No Life one, for example.
So to catch that one.
I actually wanted to see Deadpool 2. I haven't done it, but I said I was going to, and
that's like the only that and Logan are like the only two Marvel things of recent that I liked.
Yeah.
I have no interest in the main MCU thing.
No. I'm not really that guy.
I don't care about Infinity War, all that. But the only exception is if they ever do a Secret Wars movie, then I might have an interest.
Alrighty. George in the thing says, "I am that guy." Here's one thing I got to ask people. Everybody, for the people out there that watch every superhero movie out there, what do you do for a living? No, I'm not saying you have no life. I'm not saying you have no life. I'm asking how much money you have.
Oh, to spend on each movie. Yeah.
Because doesn't it seem like every other weekend there's a new one that comes out? I mean, that no matter how you slice it, even if you like them, there's no question it's over flooded.
You know what? Nobody is watching Solo.
Yeah, that. Yeah, they named it that because only one person was watching it.
No, the worst part is that they actually gave him a reason why his name is Solo in the movie.
Please don't. I don't like that at all. Yeah, I didn't watch Rogue One either, though.
I haven't seen Rogue One.
I heard Rogue One was really good. But
really? I've heard the opposite, so...
No, I've heard Rogue One is actually... I've heard people praise Rogue One, but everything I've ever heard about The Last Jedi is that it's the absolute... Every time I hear it, it's like worse and worse and worse and worse. So now I want to see it just to see how terrible it is.
I mean, The Last Jedi was pretty iffy, to be honest. They did some things in it that really just... And I know it's probably because they switched directors, rather. Yeah. Because wasn't it Abrams and then it switched to like Johnson or whatever?
Yeah. But now Abrams is back for the third one.
Yeah, so... But the thing is that completely foobarred it because whereas it looked like it was going somewhere more with 7 and then moving into it, now it's completely scrambled.
I don't know. All I hear is that it like kind of finished its story. So it's like what they're gonna...
Where are they gonna go with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Not only that, but there was a lot of questions they didn't answer, which they probably should have.
Yeah, like who's Snoke?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
he just fucking killed him.
Hey, I never seen the movie, but I know so much about because I watch videos about. I know everything that's about everything with it.
But yeah, that is true. That's one of the first things I thought. Like, hey, what the hell? Like, surely there's some information about this individual. I mean, and what's going on here? Kind of mysterious in the first one, and then
they'll probably do some fucking comic books or something like that. Fill in the backstory.
I normally don't hate that, but in this case, I will
deeply care about it.
Also here, Rose Tico is a terrible character, even though I think Kelly Marie Tran is cute, but they just made her a bad character.
Can I just say, and again, this has been said a million times, and it'll be said a million times afterwards. Yeah, Space Leia was stupid.
Okay. I'm gonna do this rant and then we'll get back to the show. I'm not too terribly concerned about a lot of the stuff that a lot of people are concerned about with the latest mainline Star Wars movie. What I am concerned about is the fucking scene at the beginning where they were bombing where they're bombing the Star Destroyer. So,
okay.
Previously, we had Y-Wings, which were the rebellion's general purpose, like air and space bomber.
Going to fuck shit up.
And yep, and it delivered. There are either proton bombs or photon bombs. I don't remember which, but they're basically like these balls of light that you launch out of the ship, and they're missiles. They arc onto the target and they blow up. So evidently, we're trying in this years past, years beyond the Y-Wing. We're doing this thing, and I get that they're trying to do this whole World War II bombing run thing, but it doesn't work in space. So you got these big bombers with like bomb bays with bombs held on to the ship via latches. And in space, you're just going to open up the bomb bay doors and release the bombs, and they're supposed to fall down onto the target, which would work on a planet with gravity, but doesn't work.
Not if you're in the fucking vacuum.
When you're in space with no gravity. What really happens is those bombs either stay directly in place, and hopefully you don't accelerate or decelerate the ship at all, because if that happens, the bombs are going to smash into the inside wall of the ship and blow up the ship, and that's all that would happen. Which doesn't even matter, because you just opened up the bottom of the ship, which in reality would depressurize the whole thing, and the people in there aren't even wearing masks.
Oh, they're fucked.
Yeah, no, it was a stupid scene. It was a stupid way to execute it.
Yeah, there were a couple iffy scenes in that. I mean, I didn't hate it. I enjoyed going to the theater, although I didn't enjoy some dude screaming having to go to the bathroom, but I'll explain that later.
Anyway, let's get on back to
I think we should probably get back to anime and less long time ago, galaxy far, far away.
Let me cue up this news dropping because I do got some news. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to NTR Radio. We got some news before we move into the second segment proper, so that's news.
Let's news. Working to restore power.
A&N people are going crazy over Darling in the Franxx.
Yeah. I think we covered that a little bit on a previous episode.
I think we might have, but
that was for something else.
That one. Well, okay, so they did an A&N cast about Darling in the Franxx,
which I didn't listen to.
I didn't listen to it either, but I did trawl the comment thread.
Oh no!
And well, there's a lot of people really disagreeing with their sentiments on Darling in the Franxx. Because for those who haven't heard, there's this whole thing now about Darling in the Franxx that is alt-right propaganda,
which is just completely ridiculous. Of course,
is a ridiculous thing to say about it. But so they tried to make this argument on the podcast, and people are really disagreeing with it. That's really all I have to say about it. I just find it hilarious how.
Oh, and they doubled down hardcore.
Oh, there's no capitulation to reasonable arguments in here. There's
oh no,
all it is doubling down and doubling down.
It's like agree with us or get out, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So really, it's not really much different from NeoGAF or how NeoGAF used to be, anyway. Okay, no, Reset era.
Yeah.
Where basically, if you question us, we'll boot you out.
Well, and it really is. It's not even that egregious.
No,
It's just there's really no. There's no okay. You guys have a point here. It's just complete insanity all day, every day.
no, it's basically it's like either you agree with this or you worship Hitler. And I hate to say it, but that's not really much of a stretch because people actually are saying dumb shit like that. Like, you know, if you like this show, you're part of the alt-right, and some alt-right may very well actually like the show, but that's neither here nor there.
Independent of the show itself.
That's what the fuck, I can't think of where I was going with that.
The link is in the IRC for those curious.
Right, but it's something to do with I'm sorry, guys. I'm having a moment here.
I'm with you, but that's really all I have about this particular subject. Okay. ANN people being dumb. That's really not news at this point.
No, and recently they pushed out another terrible article out of its collective sphincter too. Basically, there's a Precure thing, and it's basically talking about how progressive it is or some bullshit. And it's like, wait a minute. You're just now learning about Precure?
But it's funny because they used to always shit on Precure because they would like, it's just that magical show that, Well,
now there's like some kind of like some bullshit identity politics thing involved. It's dumb, as you might imagine, and it's completely you know how when there was this bizarre small really vocal group of idiots trying to say that Samus was transgender or some bullshit, it reminds me of that. Like they're trying to put their political and personal views onto something that really has nothing to do with it,
onto something that has been established for a very long time,
or in this case more just like, I don't know, trying to almost use it to prop up their bullshit belief system or ideology or whatever. It's dumb, as you might imagine. We should mention though, there's if you're a Redditor, which sorry,
Reddit's not that bad. You just have to avoid the shit subreddits.
But we have this is kind of ties into this though.
Yes, indeed. So you're looking at reddit.com/r/ANN in action. It's going up in the IRC.
And it's basically kind of a sister site to Kotaku in Action or something like that, or Tumblr in Action or anything like that.
Administered by our own Gray Forrester, if I am not mistaken.
Yes. I believe he has the keys to the kingdom.
So it's a collection of how do we even put this? So it's a collection of various.
Well, it's like this. It's like this.
Articles it's like ANN articles and Anti-Fam articles in the vein of looking at the kind of authoritarian social justice
kind of stuff,
kind of thing that's happening in anime fandom.
Basically, it's the anime version of Kotaku in Action,
more or less.
It's the same idea. Things about anime, because even that actually has stuff of anime in it. So, I mean, not to be taken from their site or anything, or taking traffic away from them or anything, but this is a little bit more specific.
Yeah.
Whereas that's more game oriented. Where this is, well, somebody had to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no shortage of this stupid shit.
Anubis, your thing is there.
Yep.
There's a bunch of stuff there.
Yeah. But yeah.
It's the Funimation thing I posted years ago.
Oh, somebody wrote this. Okay, kind of a callback from earlier. The reason why people get upset at the Piccolo is Gohan's real dad memes is it implies the guy who kidnapped him and abandoned him in the wilderness is a better dad than the one who is sometimes absent for the sake of the entire world being safe. He still was. I'm sorry. Like, Goku's gone for, like, how long? You know? And well, I mean, Piccolo did pretty much teach him to fight. And anyway, sorry. But I digress.
What's that meme again? Don't talk to me or my son.
Or my son.
Yeah. You know what would be even more disturbing with that is, do you remember the balls are inert one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't matter now. Balls are inert.
Yeah, so this other piece of news that I have, it's less news, more of a dropping off point for a discussion / me being right again. So you remember the otaku coin thing that happened that we kind of talked about a while ago?
Yeah, and we thought it was ridiculous.
Yeah. Evidently, people are not just us are suspicious about it, and rightfully so. So 2 links are going up in the IRC right now, and basically the gist of the concern is, apart from the fact that how necessary otaku coin is dubious at best. Apart from that, the way they're structuring it is suspect, to say the least.
Well, it also sounds like they're just trying to get in on this cryptocurrency thing.
Well, that's too, and to some extent, that's something that happens a lot. Like, tech startups will launch a cryptocurrency instead of looking for investors in order to get started money.
And because not only does it get attention, because it does. I mean, no matter how you slice it, launching a cryptocurrency gets attention. It just does.
Yep.
It's just like, oh, what's this? Not only that, but it's one of those get in, get the cash, and get out kind of things.
Yes, indeed.
That's how so many people made so much money off of Bitcoin. Smart people hopped on it, and then they got out quick after they made a bunch of money off of it. It's very similar to the .com craze, really. Because remember when that happened, how people basically would buy up pretty much everything?
Yep.
They'd be buying up like Pepsi.com or whatever. And they were smart to do this. This was actually quite brilliant because they're going to come knocking. So they just really were in the right place, right time with the hustle. I don't know if we're going to see anything quite like that ever again, but keep your eyes peeled.
There's still people out there who make money from
doing that,
selling and trading domain names.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just not nearly as huge as it used to be.
Right, but these people specifically were targeting these really big, like, multinational companies and stuff.
Yep.
Again, like soft drinks or fucking Taco Bell or whatever,
Like, now what happens is a lot of these big companies who can afford to do so will actually buy up
and just sit on it.
And sit on it, or what they'll also do is buy up like typos on their domain name.
Yeah, and it just
right to the actual domain name,
and it reroutes to it. Yeah, like or a .net or a .org or anything like that. Yeah, and it just kind of reroutes to the .com. Let's see. In the thing, Microsoft paid a guy a lot of money for Bob.com.
Oh yeah,
it was his personal page. Oh yeah.
I don't disbelieve that.
I wonder if anybody. I don't wonder. I could check it out right now. All right, and I'm going to, and I know I'm going to regret it. Watch, I get a virus doing this. Okay. Well, if I do, you'll hear it. Anime.moe.
Probably.
Let's see. Nope. Couldn't find the page. How did that? How does nobody not got that yet?
Well, let me find this out because I guarantee you someone has that.
Well, when I win it,
might not have put anything in on the page, but I guarantee you someone owns the domain name.
Oh, okay, yeah. But it says, but there's no page.
Yeah. Someone's just sitting on the domain name.
Oh, probably. Like, because I refuse to believe somebody hasn't got that yet.
But no, to come back to Otaku Coin, the way they're structuring it and the way they're wording what they're doing has tripped some alarms for people in the anime community. Basically, to not get too into the weeds about it, the way they're wording it is such that it would be perfectly acceptable insofar as the rules go for Tokyo Otaku mode, which is already capturing something like 67% or not 67, 36% or so of the grand stock of Otaku coin that they're releasing. So they're already getting 34% of, I believe it's a billion Otaku coin, and each one of those is stated to be worth 1 yen. So 36% of that is already going to Tokyo Otaku mode. And the rest is going to be distributed amongst various anime production entities or entities involved with the advancement of the development of otaku culture. So, via a voting platform or something like that. So it would be, the way they worded it, it would be perfectly acceptable for Tokyo Otaku mode having already captured 30-something% of the otaku coin out there by default, to use the remaining otaku coin to fund their own projects. And nothing really stops them from doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're involved with the development of otaku culture. They sell anime figures, and they have, and what's even funnier is what they're proposing to do with the otaku coin is already served by not one but 2 services that Tokyo Otaku mode already administers.
That does sound pretty peculiar.
It sounds pretty sketch. Sounds pretty suspicious.
Yeah, it's etchy. It's etchy sketch. Nah,
So,
it's probably not anything that cool.
So it's pretty suspicious, and people are not only like raising eyebrows about it, but a month and change ago, and this is what really turned me on to these new developments with it. ANN had an article about Otaku Coin's launch, which is going to be either in this summer or this fall. And people in the comments section were taking them to task for it. It's like, oh look, it's that scam everyone and their mother knows about at this point. You should know better than to post this crap, ANN. All these people, nearly this whole comment thread, which is only like 15 posts, is that people taking ANN to task for reporting on Otaku Coin without reporting about the suspicions surrounding it.
This is pretty funny. From Senkaku Complex. Here's a report from June 11th that says, "Darling in the Franks continues to cuck." You gotta love the way they word their, their bylines.
Anyway, that's the news. VZ came up with the topic for episode 100. Take it away, VZ.
Yeah, basically, okay, because all this negativity and there's all this controversy that that just goes on with all this, plus our own personal problems that we can't control. How do we stay interested in the stuff that we like? How do we keep going? what keeps me wanting to draw stuff, or or collecting figures or whatnot, or doing this podcast. Despite stupid fan shit and
The avalanche of dumb shit.
yeah, and just like the industries and like did you see the thing about Yamacon recently?
Oh
Yeah, that was comical. Like, dude, do you ever know when to shut up, guy?
Yamakan puts his foot again. This is something that isn't news. It happens so often.
Hey, how's
Yamakan puts
Fractile
foot in
doing?
mouth again.
How's Wake Up Girls doing? Oh, they stole that from you.
They fucking kicked him out. That's how it's doing.
At this point, he should probably be sponsored by fucking Michelob or some shit.
We really should do by not now, but like this fall. This fall, we should all really do. I'll do a rewatch, but you guys should watch because it'll be the 10-year anniversary. The anniversary of it. Kanagi Crazy Shrine Maidens.
I do need to get on watching that.
The show he directed, and because there's a lot we could talk about with that.
We'll
Sound
see.
good?
I'm down. But so we did an episode similar to this with a similar subject a while ago. And I thought that was a really good episode. I'm going to take a different tack with this time around, and I'm going to be more aggressive because there's
aggressive mode.
How to put this? There's a lot of ways that people can just aggressively decrease the amount of bullshits in their fandom life.
Oh, easily.
And I don't think enough people are quite doing that. And I think it's time to stop being so okay to do, you can do this or do that, and start being so okay. Here's all the people that you don't need to listen to, and here's all the people that you need to start listening to. And here's all the stuff you need to aggressively not involve yourself in, and here's all the stuff you need to start involving yourself in. And where I'm going to start is, and this is something I said something similar to this last time we did a topic like this, but I'm going to double down on it. I really don't see unless you are viscerally enjoying what you're watching, I don't see the purpose of watching new shows week to week.
I mean, some people like the ritual quality of it, I guess.
Yeah,
I get that. I understand that. I'm talking about what is anyone gaining on a fandom level by watching the newest hot show week to week, just to involve yourself in the bullshit and any Twitter.
Yeah, it seems
or even
about
worse, just to involve yourself in the ANN forum thread about it.
Yeah, it sounds like it's pretty
some
much a catalyst for being a chatterbox in sort of an obnoxious way.
Because 90% of the people who are talking about any seasonal show aren't going to be talking about that show at all after it stops airing.
No, because they'll immediately move on to something else that they're doing the same thing with.
Yeah.
And it's very, I hate to say it, but it reminds me of like those TMZ reports where they're like up everybody's ass so they can get the scoop. And so they could be the first one to like plaster it all over the, the digital airwaves.
Well, think of the mentality of person who does that. Okay, so I'm going to...
Jackass? Oh.
Less jackass, but it's like, I'm going to watch Darling in the Franxx because that's big right now. I'm going to watch Darling in the Franxx because everyone else is watching it, and after it's done airing, I'm not going to have anything to do with it anymore. It's like, think of the kind of person who has that mentality and think, do I want to be associated with that kind of person? Like,
I don't do that because I tend to watch things in a bubble mostly. It's just I'm watching it, but again, I'm the type of person that I like to watch it as Aaron because I get like the screen caps because I'm like that. I'm obsessed with like getting the screen caps and official art and the fan art.
I get you, VC. That's exactly what I'm not talking about.
Well,
Because you have a visceral enjoyment of watching these shows week to week, and if you didn't, you wouldn't be watching them week to week. I'm saying there's
here's
this
the other
mentality
weird-
around in the anime fandom where it's like I have to watch whatever new show week to week to stay current with.
No, I know there's those people. They watch like half of what's running.
Well, not only that, but I've also noticed a lot of cross-pollination with like heavy meme usage.
Yeah.
Like want to be like in the loop as far as like the newest and dank memes or some bullshit.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which anybody above the anybody above the age of 15 is probably like, who fucking cares?
Well, that's probably it. That's probably who is doing the massive consuming.
I would say, oddly enough, it's actually probably heavily divided into two but polar opposite groups: young people and like people approaching middle age that are afraid that the medium is going to get away from them if they don't.
I don't think that second demographic exists. Because how many people are like how many old guard anime fans are like hyper concerned about what's going on right now? And if they are, then that would have been them since the 90s and since the 80s, keeping current with anime as it goes on.
Because I think
I suppose.
I think you're right, Anubis, because I know, especially now, you have to. Here's a positive aspect to look at. We're in a kind of renaissance of old media, like getting not just re-releases, but in better than ever quality.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah.
So we're seeing a sort of like the old school fandom is basically getting served what they want. If they, it's like, okay, new stuff.
I have a theory on that.
Go ahead. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
I think a lot of those people are now old enough and have enough reach and stuff that they actually can be involved directly in that. Like, they're getting this stuff back out there. Like, they're joining these places and becoming part of the machinery, as it were.
Some of them.
Probably none of the people we hear from.
No. I'm not saying like anybody from like A&N or something like that. No. I mean, they're probably faceless or nameless to most of us.
Right.
But they are there. Obviously.
But
it's like
Vegas is kind of the one that's instrumental in a lot of this.
Well, yeah.
No, I mean, although I do have a funny visual of some of the people like hanging out in the rec room of of discotheque, and they got like dart boards, and they're just like, okay, and they just got a bunch of like OVAs and stuff sitting up there and old shows, and they're like, all right, which one are we gonna get next? It's like, oh, Angel Cop. Okay, we've been getting a lot of requests for that one.
Yeah, exactly.
See, at this point, it's not a question of if; it's now a question of when.
Yeah.
For a lot of them, yes.
Yeah, not everything, but a lot.
No.
There's stuff that will just never come out.
Well, and then there's like old stuff that it wasn't preserved. Like the actual masters and stuff were destroyed in like floods and earthquakes and shit.
And then there's stuff that's still like in licensing hell.
Yeah, like there's stuff that's even more fucked over than Macross.
Yeah, Macross.
Somehow.
Which we're biding our time on that one. We're doing the kind of Russian chess master thing here with that.
Something I like that will unfortunately never get a new release past its like VHS.
Yeah, which is a shame.
The movie for Lensman.
Oh yeah.
The best you can hope for stuff like that, or not necessarily like that, but in that category, is that the Japanese just put out something on a higher thing, and you'll just have to download it.
Right.
Because that'll be about as good as you'll get.
But yeah, a lot of what strikes me as the demographics is just a lot of young people, like people my age and younger, doing a whole lot of the meme stuff. I don't know if there exists any of these old school anime fans who are concerned about the medium leaving them behind. Most people who have anywhere near that mentality just complain.
That or they actually leave.
Yeah, that or they actually never hear
they
from
just
them.
like, there's nothing.
I can't handle it anymore. Or some bullshit like that.
Yeah. Let me pre-order Legend of Galactic Heroes.
It's like, sure, you want your left arm or right one?
Yeah, exactly.
That's one kidney.
Oh, you must be independently wealthy.
Are you a sir or a madam? It's like, are you Lord of the Manor?
Esquire.
Yeah, Esquire. Are you a duke or a duchess?
But yeah, so
do you have access to Fort Knox?
That brings me to my second point, though. Is like I did 2 passes of this. I might go through a third one.
Oh,
but particularly for people who are all up in Twitter, I went through my following list of people I'm following, and all of the I use the term anti-Twitter shit posters who don't create any like value, but just do a lot of shit posting and all that kind of stuff. Unfollowed all those people. Most of those people. There's some of them who I'm personal friends with and I know they're cool people, or who I actually think the stuff they post is funny, but unfollowed all those people.
Yeah, I have kind of a rule of thumb with that. Basically, if you make it a point to have your pronouns in your bio, I'm probably not going to follow you.
Well, I didn't follow those people in the first place.
No.
But,
and your profile pic is
and I guarantee, and if it has a hammer and sickle, no way.
Also, was a gaping mouth profile pic.
Oh yeah, if it's got some if it's basically a selfie shot and they're using their real name, yeah, come on.
Look at me, I'm drinking soylent.
But yeah, so I unfollowed all those people and started following more people who like post real life cool stuff, or some people I follow who just post screenshots of what they're watching and like their impressions. In a fun way, like they're enjoying the shit and they want to share their enjoyment of the shit. I follow a lot of people, and I especially follow a lot of these people in on the iyashike.moe Twitter account, is people who do cool stuff with Figmas and do cool stuff with Nendoroids and other anime figures and take photos of it.
Well, I was going to say, so you followed Musk.
I would say like 90% of the people I follow are artists with and who already have like a Pixiv account.
A lot of artists on Pixiv. I follow follow a lot of these people on the iyashike.moe account, as I follow a lot of people who make Itasha, those cool anime cars. Cars with all anime girls on them.
I follow a couple of they're not really, I don't know if they're bots per se, but I do follow ones that post certain kinds of themes. Like I have, for example, like there's numerous ones that post GIFs.
Yeah.
That are fun to look at.
I follow quite a few of those.
Like Otaku's art.
Otaku's art is fantastic.
Seriously, if you're not following them, go follow them.
Yeah.
Or even like some other stuff, like again, that's themed. I have a few of those, a bunch of gaming stuff, a few Japanese authors. some free speech kind of crap, which I won't get into that, but
Every
it ties in. Trust me.
But yes, a lot of basically the key is to unfollow all this shallow, all this very shallow sort of non-committal, low value anime content on your social media and replace it with stuff that will pump you up every time you see it.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but don't concern yourself with following an ungodly amount of people either. That's another thing. Like anybody who has an anime avatar, boop. That's a bad idea.
Yeah. The whole I feel like anime fans just went buck wild with social media without understanding like really how to use it in a way that actually helps you instead of a way that
Western anime fans.
Yeah. But the whole it's you are in a ridiculous amount of control about the content you see on your social media feed. And particularly I'm talking about Twitter with this, but it goes for anything.
Oh, for sure.
A ridiculous amount of control with that. And you please don't be afraid to exercise that control. Because otherwise you're going to end up seeing a whole bunch of bullshit that you don't want to see in your feed. And you're going to hate it.
And you gotta sift through it. That's the thing.
Yeah, you're gonna sift through it, and it's gonna be painful, and you're not gonna enjoy it, and you're gonna wonder why you're even here in the first place.
Yeah, basically.
So fill your social media feed with stuff that pumps you up. Like, why not do that? Especially given the amount of bullshit going on in this community. Definitely, when I look at my Twitter, I want to see stuff that pumps me up actively.
Also,
I take a friggin' log on the Ashike account right now, and I'll probably see some little armory stuff first and foremost. Actually, no, it's one of these smart dolls from Danny Chu, and they're beautiful, and I get a little bit of positive energy when I see one of those because it's pretty. It's very pretty to look at. It's like stuff that satisfies you aesthetically. I scroll down. Is one of these otaku's art posts. But K-Gods, you retweeted this. It's a Sailor Moon gif.
Oh yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, and I enjoy it. I enjoy looking at it. It pleases me aesthetically, and it pumps me up to see it.
Yeah, I mean, just recently they had one for Kimagure Orange Road.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And that was fun because who else is going to post that?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, a lot of people that are so up the ass of
every
watching like 50 shows every year or whatever are not going to be doing that.
Every other like retweet of mine is like of a girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. And in addition to unfollowing a whole lot of the quote anti-Twitter shit posters, unquote, I also unfollowed a lot of people who I started following during stuff like Gamergate.
Oh yeah. I'll go ahead and just go on record. That's actually part of the reason I got rid of the old account. Rather than just to follow a bunch of people, I thought I'd just wipe the slate.
Yeah,
because a lot of them are actually functionally fucking obnoxious.
Yeah. At the time, it was valuable to me to follow those people because I wanted to keep
in the loop
on what was going on with regards to that.
And you can't be everywhere at once.
Can't be everywhere at once. So it's
good to have that.
It was valuable to me to have those people in my follow list.
But their usefulness is gone.
Because I care less about that stuff and because I actively want to see less of that bullshit in my feed, I just unfollowed a whole bunch of them.
mean, there's some of them I still do, just because I think what they do exists beyond that.
Yeah, Morning Rise in the IRC. I only really had Gamergate in common with a lot of those people. That's exactly the point.
Very true. And a lot of those people, if you were to go past that, are people that actually don't like you.
Yeah.
Actively don't like you.
Which, by the way,
like, yeah, like if they knew more about you and more about the stuff that you're cool with, they wouldn't be cool with you. So why am I it's not an indictment on any of the people I unfollowed. I'm sure most of them are cool people, but I only had Gamergate in common with any, and I'm not Gamergate active anymore.
It's the usefulness of it is it's moot. It's really almost like when something's outdated or you've got a superior model or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Now
it doesn't have much of a use anymore.
Now we got Comicsgate.
Well, are we just going to throw Gate at the end of everything?
I'm not following any of these Comicsgate people. I don't care.
No,
I can't be arsed to be okay. It's Comicsgate now. That's something I do not care about.
Nah, and not only that, but some people are getting a little ridiculous with it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's like, oh no, they're gender bending this character. It's like, I don't give a shit. I mean, okay, that's the hill you want to fight on. That's fine. I mean, everybody has something they don't like people fucking around with, and I get that. But at the same time, I'm not going to pretend I care.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, now I'm like, it's like my follow list is just full of people who I see their stuff and it's like, oh, hey, cool. It's that guy and he's posting something cool again. And the goal is to get it so everyone you're following is that person that you're pumped to see their content. Because otherwise, why are you following them in the first place?
It's another thing you could do that recommend is change your this news settings for.
Oh, yeah, that's a good thing. The trends, like the little thing on if you're on Twitter, there's a thing that trending.
I just changed mine to Japan.
Yeah, and I did that not even for weeb purposes. I did it just so I don't see like the latest 15-minute crisis.
That too, yeah, that too, because it's like I already see political stuff elsewhere. I don't need to see.
Yeah, and quite frankly, I enjoy just looking at the moon runes.
Yeah, it's like, and honestly, I haven't done that, and I'm not sure if I did this consciously or not, but I've somehow trained myself to not even acknowledge the like it doesn't even exist to me. Like
I was gonna put it in a different language other than that, just something I can't read.
Right.
It's like, well, I can't put it in German or even Germanic based ones because I'll still know enough about what it is to actually know what the fuck is going on. And so it's like, well, I gotta at least go. I thought about putting it in Russian almost as a joke, and even changing my avatar and whole thing to have like old Soviet style, stuff on there. But I don't want to get fucking confused with one of those idiot ANCAPs.
Yeah.
But then you would have to change your avatar from Erica to
Sonya.
Yeah. And yeah. Or some of the girls from Brave Witches.
Yeah.
Which their names are escaping me, but
me too. I totally forgot the names of those.
The only one I can remember is Nipa, the one with the big knockers.
Yeah.
It's
a good reason to remember her.
Oh, yeah, and she's either Soviet or Finnish.
She's Finnish.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, that might be good for me to do just as a learning Japanese goal. Like my goal is to be able to read the Japanese trends on Twitter.
See, you just need to be able to check out the stock exchange. It's like, oh, well, the yen is up.
Figures are gonna get more expensive.
But it's like, who am I? Like the first 9 people on my follow list right now: cosplayer, artist, person who posts K-ons all the time, artist, cosplayer, artist. Weapons grade waifus, artist.
Now, since you said that, I'll go ahead and say my 9. Okay, let's see here. A couple of things like Anime Boston,
Yeah.
Otakon, Anime Central, big conventions. A couple friends. A porn bot.
There we go.
A Japanese artist who pretty much is also a porn bot at this point. And a really hilarious account, or hilarious in the sense that how shameless it is. There's one called @ the Magic of Lolies.
Ah.
Heck, that's not even my thing, really, overall. I just thought it was funny. There's another one out there I almost followed based on their name, which was like Loli Banger or something like that. It just made me laugh. I was like, wow. Yeah, that's not really. Again, I'm more amused by their personality than anything else.
But yeah, don't be afraid to aggressively curate spaces you're able to aggressively curate, because
it saves you a lot of trouble.
It saves you a lot of trouble. It saves you a lot of headaches. And it saves you from just being exposed to shit you don't want to see under any circumstance. Like,
and don't be afraid to mute people.
Don't be afraid to mute people.
Just that you don't want to see in your timeline, because
exactly.
let's face it, you can't control who your friends retweet.
Yeah, you'll eventually get something retweeted into your timeline
that annoys you, and it's like, well, if you don't want to get rid of the friend,
yeah,
you might have to either mute their retweets or just mute the person they're retweeting.
I might have to do something like that for a couple people.
You're not going to reveal.
No, it's not going to happen. But
we'll be talking about it after the show.
But that the aggressive curation bit actually goes into my next, and of the 3 we've mentioned, of the 3 we've talked about so far, this is probably the most aggressive. Is we need to bring back gatekeeping.
People don't like that word, but
yeah,
you can say it does serve a function.
So, and to be very clear,
it's not just to keep people out.
It's not to keep the gatekeeping in the way I'm using it and the way it should be used properly is not to homogenize fandom. It's not to make the fandom only inhabited by people like you. It's to preserve the core values and dynamics of the fandom as it exists.
Well, plus there's a certain level of being on the lookout for troublemakers, as I like to call them,
and
people that exist purely to be an irritant.
People whose involvement with the fandom, with the community, is only insofar as it's able to, as the fandom is able to big up them. Their only reason for involvement is 100% self-serving, and they don't actually have any respect for the subculture or the people who built the subculture.
And a lot of these are e-celebs too, by the way.
A lot of them are e-celebs, but a lot of them are also people who. So in my world,
is it a whole new world?
In my world, it would be
Super Mario World.
So a lot of the e-celebs, and also a lot of the people who manage to get to high levels of the community, but clearly don't have a whole lot of respect for a lot of other people in the community. So it's that anyone who anyone who has a disdain for, or not so much a disdain, but anyone who clearly has no respect for the culture as it was built and as they encountered it.
I just have like no tolerance for people who they just do not know the history of like the way anime or any of this stuff actually is, and they think they know. It's not so much people that don't know. It's the unwillingness to learn the actual history, or they think they figured out. Because there's people that like don't know, but if they're willing to know, because it's like, okay, how I'm always teaching you about like the history of like anime, especially mecha anime, in conjunction with like toys.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
sort of like a. How like on Wikipedia, like it'll say this day in history, and it'll have like a list of things that have occurred on that day at various points. Like this day in history was D-Day, or sort of like that. I'm just using that because that was recently. Kind of reminds me of that. Sort of a touchstone kind of point, like, okay, there's this, and this relates to this. So and so, this is where commerce comes in. Or
it's the idea of it's enthusiasm versus knowledge, and knowledge can always be taught. So
true enough.
The idea is not. We need people who are enthusiastic about the culture and willing to learn about it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the people were concerned about are enthusiastic about the culture only up to the point where it stops valuing them, like it stops being a boon to them,
or worse,
they stop being able to profit off of it socially, financially, otherwise,
or worse, they want to change said culture.
Exactly.
These are your parasites right here.
Yeah.
These are your Trojan horses. They see it as a way to wedge themselves into something, bring themselves up, and throw a ladder down for all the people just like them, to pull them in there and crowd the people that were already in there out.
Yeah.
And thereby pretty much destroying it. And this is happening in a lot of nerd shit.
Yeah.
Anybody listening to this show is probably a nerd, so I'm sure they know. It's like, yeah, that's not, how many times have you popped open something and seen some bullshit about toxic masculinity and Magic the Gathering tournaments or some bullshit? And you're just like, hey, what the fuck?
And it's one thing to want to make a community more accessible to certain kinds of people to whom it was not previously accessible. It's another thing to expect that community to change around its entire culture, not just to suit those people, but to change around its entire culture, rather than just make a niche for the type of people you want to involve in this community, and then integrate that into the existing culture.
Yeah, that's another thing.
You can go ahead and take Anti-Fem. My problem with Anti-Fem is that what they're not trying to do is create a space for women and feminists in anime fandom, even though that already existed. Look up the history. They're not trying to create a space. They're not trying to create a space and then integrate that into the existing culture. They're trying to create a space separate from the culture and talk down at it and criticize it.
It's very similar to how there's certain enclaves basically where like religious minorities congregate, I think you'll know what I'm getting at here, where their entire area and thing is locked in this ideology that they don't want the outside to be. They want to be outside of the thing that's right next to them there.
They want to have all the advantages of being part of the culture.
The whole, but not actually following it.
But but not actually having respect for the culture.
No, in fact,
advantage from being part of.
In many cases, it's the exact opposite. I'm not going to name names here. I think you already know where I was going with that. But there are certain places and areas where this is happening, where there are these minority groups that are of a specific religion. I'm not going to go there, but that don't want to interact with the culture at large. They want to keep to their own basic values. But the problem with that is by doing so, you're cut off from the larger picture. And basically, you're like, what do you call that? A dream within a dream kind of thing, where I'm losing my words here. I think you know where I'm going for with this, though.
Yeah, it's they want to have whatever advantages they consider as. Again,
okay.
To go back to anything,
I think I get a better way to explain it.
They want to have the advantages of being part of the anime culture and being involved in the community and whatnot, but don't actually seem to even have a desire to learn about the culture's history, learn about and respect how it came up and how it got to where it is today, to the point where they're able to make their way into it and preferably integrate themselves, but it's not the current goal.
Right. I got another two examples. One would be like before World War I, there was a small group of Serbians that existed in Germany. And basically they purposefully had separated themselves apart from the main culture of Germany. They were like unto themselves, basically. But the thing is they weren't cooperating and behaving with the host country. And because of this caused problems. And we all know that eventually ends up starting World War I, actually. But kind of like that, or less politicized would be almost like take a human body. There's like the circulatory system. But then there's something that wants to go out of said system and be on and kind of outside of it, but still wants to get like the flow from said system. Again, I'm totally not making fucking any sense, probably.
The bottom line is they want the advantages of being involved in the culture without actually involving themselves in the culture at the same level as people who actually value the subculture are.
And there are actually some more pernicious groups that actively want to, similar to a virus, actually consume its host. And I think we all know who I'm talking about here.
Yeah, a lot of this happens with e-celebs. A lot of
cosplay culture has a lot of these people.
A lot of cosplayers. They jump into it basically with a mentality that they're going to use it to jumpstart some kind of a modeling career of some sort.
And if that doesn't happen, there's also the people that want to basically just turn it inside out. And sort of like, okay, well, it used to be this way, but now that I'm part of it, it needs to be this way.
Well, yeah. They're just looking to profit off of.
In some cases, it's purely piggybacking. Using it as a way to either launch themselves or basically fleece it.
Yeah. And if you want to go on a deeper level, you've got
going deep now.
You have predatory photographers.
Oh fuck. Don't even get me started.
Who jump into cosplay culture because they know that there are certain people in here looking to jumpstart it into something bigger. And they use that dynamic to surreptitiously or sometimes just overtly on a semi-coercive level get lewd photographs of photographers. This happens. It happens more than I'm comfortable with.
Yeah, there is definitely there's definitely some skeezy behavior for sure. I mean, like, and like you said, predatory is a good word, because it really does seem like some of these people, you know, the old saying, not saying, but the old stories about how like pornographers would go out there and look for talent.
Yeah.
And they would basically lure them in with promises of money, fame, and drugs.
Yep.
And since a lot of these places are actually on the West Coast, there's some sketchy behavior with, you know, smack and crap like that too. I don't know if they're selling it or dealing it or whatever, but I mean, this stuff did happen for sure, and probably still does. I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying all porn is made that way, by the way.
Well, yeah, but that's the whole thing, is like people on multiple levels taking advantage of the subculture for personal gain. And whether that's social gain, where they're trying to shift it away from what it's been established as and toward something they want it to be, like something they want it to be more toward, or financial gain, where they're trying to get thirsty dudes to donate to their Patreons and whatnot.
The thirst economy.
Whether it's ill-gotten penny shots of photographers who want to get noticed. All people who don't respect the culture and are in it for personal gain. And that's what I'm saying when I say bring back gatekeeping.
Mm-hmm.
But to bring it down onto a personal level, we can do this on a more individual level. People have their like little more insular groups of like anime fan friends.
Oh yeah, I mean, for sure.
And people need to aggressively curate those groups of people, because the
thing is, if you bitch and you don't do this,
especially that kind of environment where it's more close knit than just general social media, it's very important to not involve yourself with smaller, more intimate groups of people who you think are fuckheads.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's better to have a smaller group of friends that you're actually close to than have a big one with just random crazy people in there.
Well, it's like you curate your small group of friends, and realistically, any environment, big or small, that you have control over, aggressively curate that to weed out all the people who don't respect the culture.
Because in all honesty, the material isn't the problem.
No.
The shows, the manga, the games, that's not the... I mean...
Need to be more progressive.
Yeah, well, you do that.
Those are the fuckers I'm talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, but like I was saying, the material itself isn't the problem. I'm sure someone will dispute that. It's like, the same people that are going to scream about anime sucking after 95.
Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever. You can't help them people. They're set in their ways. But I mean, and again, I also think that there comes a point where when you like something, but you recognize that it's moved away from what you like about it, and it's okay to let it go.
Sometimes you got to put it to bed.
I mean, like, I'm trying to think of something specific here. Okay, I got a good idea. Take a franchise, like a well-known franchise. I don't know, horror movies or
Star Wars.
Okay.
Because this happened to me.
All right. I was gonna say actually Alien.
Transformers right now.
Alien. It needs to stop. It's done. It's over with. There hasn't been really much in the way of awesome movies in it. It's clearly a cash cow, and people keep coming back just to keep seeing if it's gonna be good. I hate to say it, but come on, we're all doing that.
Yeah, Gray Forrester says, Gray Forrester is about to say Star Wars as well. So, because Star Wars for me is like, okay, I'm perfectly fine being in the minority. I liked the prequels.
I don't hate them. I don't hate them.
Same.
I think the prequels are valuable. That's how much I like the prequels.
And it's actually
I don't think they're bad. I won't turn them off. I will wince at a couple of really bad acted parts, but
yeah.
I mean, I think we all know some of the ones I'm thinking of.
But after Disney went and purged all the expanded universe stuff, I said, okay, I'm done. Because in doing that, they purged some of my favorite stuff in the Star Wars universe
and tried to strip it of it being canonical.
Yep. So I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm not invested in this anymore. And I'll watch the new movies, and I enjoyed parts of the new movies, certainly.
But I'll look at them the same way I do like an extra question on a piece of homework or something.
I look at those movies the same way I look at the Ghost in the Shell live action movie.
It's supplementary material that's not necessary.
Not even that. It's just another film I'm watching.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I see where you're going. You're detaching it from being part of canon. It's like fan fiction.
It's Star Wars, but it's not Star Wars as I enjoyed Star Wars back in the day.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, I can go with that.
That's like me and like.
I honestly think
exactly, VZ.
But horror movies are especially bad about these endlessly running franchises. But in those cases, it's a little different because the reason you're watching them is different. You're not looking at those for brilliant stories. You're looking to see how creative and graphic they can be, killing a bunch of dumb teenagers that have probably had sex.
But yeah, so in environments you control, because I did this back when I ran the anime club in my college, and I wrote this down in the secret guide to running an anime club on Yashike. Eliminate toxicity with extreme prejudice. Don't permit negativity of any kind to take root in the club. This includes negativity towards certain kinds of anime. If viewings are determined democratically and someone doesn't want to watch what's being voted on, they can leave. If they stay and complain, they require a talking to. The negative behavior persists. You have the right and the duty to kick them out. And the caveat to this is often, however, if you create an environment that's too positive to bend to their negative behavior, they'll leave by themselves and never come back. Because this happened to a couple of people who were in my anime club. There was one girl who,
no matter what, they're gonna be negative.
Well, yeah,
positive, they'll leave on their own.
Yeah, there was one girl who hated dubs, like irrationally hated dubs, and there were plenty of people in the anime club who liked dubs. And what ended up happening was, and I wasn't there for this. This was a meeting where I was absent, but apparently a dub was voted on, and she complained. And my vice president set up and said, "Hey, this is what was voted on. If you don't like it, you can leave." And we never saw her again.
Yeah, which is weird because those kind of people usually don't go away on their own. They're usually an irritant. They show up and almost enjoy being an irritant.
Well, that's it. That's if the environment permits them.
They're just malcontent as their default personality. That's just their, and they're walking black holes and get near people. I know I've seen people like that.
Yeah, and they
They
suck the energy out of the room when they
Everything
get on their bitching.
has to be a complaint.
Yep, and the idea is don't allow those people to get a foothold in any environment that you have control over.
I think another thing is people take way too much stock in their personal nostalgia. We were all accused of this, and especially me in certain aspects, where we just, as a grading system that you feel like other people should obey by. But the truth is that nostalgia is a very personal thing.
Oh yeah, like nostalgia is one of those things that can bump up something like 10, 20 points.
Yeah.
I mean, and let's be honest, nobody is immune from this.
It was like, I was saying like, oh, I like the dub for the Guyver OVAs. But again, some of that is just nostalgia driven because that was the way I saw it when I was young.
Yeah, exactly. I'm that way with a lot of dubs, like the Evangelion dub. A lot of people complain about it. I like it, but then again, that's how I was first exposed to it.
It's got its charms, even if you don't like dubs. I mean, how can you really hate some of the real classic Asuka lines?
Yeah,
for
exactly.
example, like her yelling things in German and whatnot, which is just fun, you know. Or one of my favorite is when the episode where they're on the ship where she first shows up.
Yeah.
When the Angel actually attacks them while they're there, and she has a unit too, and all that. When it's all going down, she gets this like hilarious like smirk on her face, and it goes wunderbar.
Yeah,
I love that. That always amused me. Or just again, since we all speak English and it's our mother tongue, there are just certain things that are going to resonate a little more in that department. Not because they're better acted so much as just because the nuance of the language isn't lost on us.
Right.
Or you know, deadpanness and things like that can be funnier in that way because it makes more sense in the context of what we're used to. But yeah, I mean, I like some dubs that, if I were to be blatant and honest, are technically not very good. I'll just go ahead and say that. They're kind of crummy, poorly acted or whatnot, but they have like this bizarre either nostalgic charm or it's just so over the top ridiculous I can't hate it.
Oh, yeah, that's like any of the manga. That's like the manga entertainment dubs.
Yeah, I love the fact that when they had their little, what do you call those, trailers, that they had Celtic Frost playing.
Oh, that
in the background. That's hilarious. It's like, this is so inappropriate. like
it's all the action scenes from and it's all like movies and OVAs.
Which is like the Tom G. Warrior like grunt.
Right.
But it's like it's do your best to stay open-minded and not be clouded by your own preferences that you're already deeply familiar with.
And if you have a personal aesthetic that
nothing wrong with that, by the way,
the person doesn't see, at least try to articulate why you like it's like me and I talk about I prefer hand-drawn mecha over CG, and I've explained why. Well, because I like seeing it done the difficult way, and because I consider the mecha to be characters too. It blends in better, in my opinion.
That's exactly where I was going with that, VZ, is people need to learn how to articulate what they like about things. And two is people need to be willing to people need to be willing to pick other people's brains about liking stuff. Like for an example, this is probably better explained with an example. Is like, I'm not a big fan of Full Metal Alchemist, but I know why people like Full Metal Alchemist, and I respect that.
Oh, that's
I
like
understand the good points of FMA, and the thing it comes down to is like, we have this obsession in this culture, in this fandom, with pointing out flaws and shit, and that's a lot of reason why you see this, like, the anime guilt thing that we talked about a while back is like,
oh yeah, like
you'll if you say you like something,
people get tired of defending it.
People will, if you say you like something,
not because
people will
not
come
because
out
they
of the
don't
woodwork, start pointing out flaws about it, and it's like,
not because they don't like it, but because they get tired of having to deal with people just with microscopic nitpicks that largely are personal beefs in many cases. Like,
well, it's like you'll see people when someone says something positive about a show in public, and it's like, people who don't like it will come out of the woodwork with flaws about it, but you don't see the opposite.
oh no,
You don't see when someone hates on a show, people
like
who
somebody
love it come out
swoops
of the
in
woodwork
and tries to like salvage it or something.
pointing out all the show's virtues and stuff. You don't see that.
Yeah, when's the last time you've seen somebody go, "Oh, Gundam Seed isn't really that bad," or something like that? I mean, besides when I did it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, this is another Iyashike article I did a while back, where people need to one, know how to articulate. Like, when you're watching a show and you're really enjoying it, stop for a second and think, what about this show is appealing to me so much that I'm enjoying it so much, and like, put that into words, so you'll be able to when you're having a discussion, you'll be able to articulate that, and you'll be able to articulate positivity and inject a little positivity into someone else's life.
Well, and here's the other thing. It doesn't have to be a deep reason to like it. That's the thing that always trips me up with people. It's like, people try to intellectualize shows that clearly are not trying to do that.
Yeah, but then like, oh, you like the titties or lollies, and it's like, well,
okay, fair enough. But is that what the show's trying to do?
Well,
yes,
I mean,
or no?
Yeah, exactly. If
yes, then that is entirely successful, and is completely a win-win. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about people that the personal is political, jackasses. I know what you mean. Everything is viewed through a lens of some bullshit.
Well, and that's something I've been on for a while, not necessarily specifically the political thing.
Well, no, I use that as an example.
Yeah, the whole idea of, oh, well, this show is not intellectual, so based on some arbitrary premise. Because a while back, I was on the Bakagaijin show, and I was on there. It was a whole bunch of us. It was Zeke and Kevin is normal, but it was like also me and Karen from the Otaku Sphere and Jekyll Geek. And if you listen back to that, I was upset at Jekyll Geek, exteriorly from what we were actually talking about, but also because of the idea of, and this is me shitting on Jekyll Geek. This is me shitting on the idea that he was approaching it, the whole thing, from a perspective of, well, some shows are good, some shows are bad, the criteria of which is based on something completely arbitrary, which ties into this whole intellectual anime thing. Because
I remember
the idea that comes from that is, okay, then some shows are intellectual and some shows aren't. So some shows are worth talking about and then some shows aren't. Which I think if someone can articulate themselves, we can have a discussion about Senran Kagura.
Mm-hmm.
But
I wonder if anybody
because nobody has trained themselves, one, to articulate positivity in that way, and two, to even look at that show in that sort of way, because we have this entire paradigm of this show's not working. This show's not working for this intellectual stuff I'm on, or because this show because we don't see the show as worth talking about. Nobody talks about it that way.
I wonder if there's anybody
that's very interesting discussion.
I wonder if anybody, since you mentioned Senran Kagura, I wonder if anyone's actually did like a deep rooting sort of drilling into like the mythos of like the clans they have.
There's certainly room for it
because they're actually based off like, you know, real stuff, you know, in Japanese history with ninjas and all that crap.
There's certainly room for it, but you're not going to see it all around everywhere, because we have this mentality that some shows are worth talking about and some shows aren't. It's another thing with regards to this whole main topic is people need to start working on ridding themselves of these arbitrary mentalities that have been promoted throughout the fandom. And case in point of this, I was looking at, there was an article that was linked in the K-God's Discord a while back. I say a while back, it was like last week.
Well, that's a while back in internet time.
It was about the idea of internet communities and these 4 archetypes that form, and it's a matrix of low to high expertise and low to high commitment. And the idea was low expertise, low commitment were the normies, whereas low expertise, high commitment were the casuals. And then high expertise, low commitment were, I forget the word, but it was like all the people who were in there, like ironically, those people. And then the high expertise, high commitment were the not my term, the artists. So the assertion,
not to be confused with artiste.
Yeah, exactly. The assertion was that all the high expertise, high commitment people were basically incapable of engaging with anyone on the low expertise part of the matrix.
Mm-hmm.
And my criticism with that was either or. Are those people simply not common? People who have high expertise and high commitment and can engage on a reasonable level with anyone on the low commitments side of the matrix. Are those people simply not common, or has the mindset and the paradigm surrounding the fandom so ingrained this idea of anyone who has a high commitment to the subculture and is steeped in knowledge about it is also the stereotypical asocial, like socially awkward nerd type of person. And I personally think it's the latter. I think that it, and if you look at a lot of the ways you see high expertise people portrayed in fandom, especially the anime fandom, it's always nerds, nerds or NEETs or people, any various stereotypes of people who have low social acuity because they somehow exchanged that for fandom knowledge and fandom commitment. And my concept, and this goes back to our main topic, is it is entirely possible to, at the same time, have a high level of fandom expertise and a high level of fandom commitment, and also be socially knowledgeable to a reasonable level.
Mhm.
And I think people should work on that, because that's gonna not only just keep you happy within the fandom, but it's also going to help you out in the long run. It'll also help you grow the fandom in a healthy way when it gets to that point.
I think we should cut at this.
Wrap it out
part.
for this part.
Yeah, because I think kind of. I mean, I agree with everything that you're saying with this.
I did have one more thing.
All right.
Oh,
This isn't long.
no.
Go deep. Go very deep.
Balls deep.
Because you'll notice that all the bullshit people that we're talking about, all like the anti-Twitter shit posters that I'd mentioned, or all the people who should have been gatekept, none of these people exist when you go into very deep levels of the fandom. And I'm
I mean, you're not exactly finding them posting on the Sakuga channels or whatever.
Well, the Sakuga community has its own problems, but I'm
talking about other.
Where are all the fake anime figure collectors?
Oh yeah.
The ones that collect pop vinyls.
Well, no, he's
anime figures VZ.
No, he's basically pointing out that it's like math. You can't really fake it.
Yeah, like you can't fake spending $150 on a whole bunch of anime figures each. Like you can't fake spending $1,500 putting anime girls all over your car.
But I only do it ironically.
I'd like to know how much money you have if that's what you're doing.
I want to meet the person who has the disposable income to make anime cars ironically.
Yeah, because that's definitely a little on the side of rich and bored.
Yeah, where are all the fake Pixiv artists? So they don't exist, or at the very least, they're not nearly as common as fake people who are in shallower elements of fandom.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Western fandom thing, by the way. That you don't see that anywhere else but the Western fandom. People that are into things ironically.
Well, yeah, that's
a Western almost idea anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's more of a upper middle class, upper mid income thing.
Well, yeah,
oh, for sure. It's a hipster thing, is what it is.
Yeah.
It's like people who like vinyl just because it's in. You know what I mean, or something like that.
Right.
Not because they like it because it's bigger and it has art, or they like the actual sound of vinyl. It's more like either a collect. Now, there's nothing wrong with being a collector, but it's more of a like recently there's been this really weird fad about bringing cassettes back.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
Which, unless you like the aesthetic, there's no reason to do this.
Right.
There's no reason to even buy these things. It's like the whole idea behind a cassette was, in comparison to vinyl, was that it was portable. Where CDs and MP3s now have made this obsolete.
Yeah, exactly.
So beyond just being like a retro nerd or something like that, it has no real value. other than just like some kind of aesthetic or relic sort of thing.
Right.
It has no functional value, rather.
Yeah, exactly.
And that kind of behavior, though, is everywhere now. Like, I mean, and yeah, there are some people that are rich that are like that too, and they're the kind, of course, that buy up a bunch of stuff and then scalp it, you know, on like eBay or something like that.
Well, yeah, that's an entire.
That's a whole different category, but it does tie in though.
Yeah, but the point is go deep, because you leave all the bullshit people behind. Like all the
right. The further you go, the less people there are anyway.
The further you go, the less people there are, and the more dedicated those people are. And
they're far less likely to be people trying to get in on meme jokes.
Yeah. They're far less likely to be people who have a very surface level enjoyment of the subculture.
Not that there's anything wrong with laughing at something like that, but
it's not wrong to laugh at stuff like that, because let's be real, I find anime memes funny on occasion, but the idea is if you go deep, you can always return to the shallow end every now and again because you enjoy something there, but your core group that you'll be embedded with is all people who are passionate enough to be that deep. That's the idea, is that you get rid of all the people, all the ain't shit people who would only fuck up your day by committing to going as deep as you can in whatever you're into.
So to wrap it up, basically, just look at it this way. You're surgically excising unwanted elements, and basically surrounding yourself with stuff that basically doesn't make you want to punch your computer screen.
Exactly. Aggressively curate your space and fill your experience up with stuff that pumps you up.
Yes.
And since I want to kind of do a slight callback, this reminds me so much of people doing on-air help, which ties back into Frasier. Because that's kind of what he did. He was a psychiatrist, and he'd have all those people call, and funny stuff happened, but and whatnot. But and again, not to say that we're doing the same thing per se. This is much more base level than that, and it's very much more specialized.
Yeah.
But specifically, those of us who have been in this stuff for a long time, we've dealt with jerks and just annoying people because they've always been there, and they always have. Don't look at it through rose-tinted glasses. These people were always there on some level. Now, they used to be less visible because they were in print. Because you'd pick up these magazines and there'd be like some diatribe about how MD Geist or Rorotsky Doji, kidnapped their baby or something.
Yeah, way back in the day.
But it was the same kind of mentality. If you like this stuff, your taste is terrible. You're a crappy person. Blah 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 blah.
And
realistically,
it's easier nowadays to not have to deal with those people at all,
because you're not forced to read you're not forced into basically these very narrow ways to get information anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Because back in the day, it was just just a few anime magazines, and all of them had these bullshit people in them.
Yeah, and they've always been there, like all the way back to like Animerica and things like that. Yes, I had that. Yes, I was a subscriber to that. That shows my age right there. Although it was always funny because it would be like, there'd be reviews for things and be like, oh, this is terrible. And then you'd flip the thing and there would just be like almost like the mail order catalog thing of Anime 18 or something like that. And it would just be like all their smutty things. And it's like, it's kind of funny. You just got done reading something about how terrible show XYZ is, and then you get hit with this.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just funny.
Insider, better than Anime Insider, which was like, I get it. It was like the really basic anime magazine.
Right. I don't think I actually read that one.
It was like the very basic level anime.
Right. But you had New Type USA, which man, I wish we could go back to that.
Yeah.
We didn't know what we had.
Good.
Is Otaku USA still around?
Yes, I saw it in the supermarket the other day.
Oh god, what was on the cover if you remember?
Oh, no, I can't. I just went right by it.
Probably Pop Team Epic or something like that.
I was about to say that actually.
I don't know. My eyes darted immediately to guns and ammo.
Ha.
Not even because I was interested in guns and ammo. It just was a really cool looking weapon on the cover. Back during Un-America, magazines like that, and didn't go out of its way to insult the fan base. That's true. They were nowhere near as naggy about it. Like to where if they just thought something was crap, they would say it was crap, but they wouldn't follow you around like and act like you personally transgressed on them or something.
That was before the social media.
Yeah, well, that's what he's saying. Back when magazines like An America, stuff like that, they didn't really do that. It was just more like, I'll give you an example of something I remember. I think it was from the Anime Encyclopedia, actually. There was something like that. I think it was like Twin Angels or something where they said, if you want tennis elbow, go play tennis or something like that. And it's just like, that sort of stuff is, well, I don't know who thinks that's really hilarious. I guess you have to be British.
Or my favorite from the erotica one, for Guy Double Target for the wannabes of the MTV generation. I still have no idea what the fuck that meant.
Yeah, because shows like that would have been on MTV.
No, I think it just means people of that Generation X era. That's the closest proximity.
I don't think... The thing is most people I know from that group didn't watch stuff like that. They would be more interested in Beavis and Butthead or something like that. Or even if you wanted to go elsewhere, they'd probably point out like just something... like regular comics like Spawn or
if it was anime, it was like Akira.
Yeah, I doubt the same people were necessarily really going to bat hard for Guy Double Target.
Yeah, so that I mean, you had to really look for it for that type of stuff, because that was like hentai. The only hentai that had any sort of mass exposure was Yurusuka Doji.
Right.
Yeah, and the way they marketed that, while it was effective, it was actually somewhat deceptive. Because it's like, this was not the second coming of Akira, not in any shape or form. That's one. Two, if you didn't know what you were getting into with this thing, you were in for a real rough ride. Because even by today's standards, 30 years later, some of that stuff is still pretty fucked up.
Well, most people got introduced because of the movie.
Right, which makes sense because, okay, they made a compilation movie off the first 3 OVAs, and the second movie was the second 2 from that batch, right? Like, yeah. there was 3, and that made up movie 1, and then there was 2 that made up movie 2.
I thought they used some of movie 2. The OVAs, the second OVAs in the one movie.
Maybe, because there was Overfiend and Demon Womb. Those were your 2 movies, and then beyond that, again, you should watch the OVAs anyway, but which will require a little bit of detective work from you. But
man, that needs the license rescue.
Yeah, it's big time. I mean, I have the movie and on Blu-ray at that, but
yeah, that rescue just Blu-ray.
Yeah, but like Discotheque ain't gonna put that one out.
You know what? Discotheque. Here's my idea. Discotheque should do a hentai
I don't see them doing that. I think you're better off hoping for like Nozomi to do one or something.
Because there is, I think there could be a market for a lot of that old stuff in now.
I don't disagree, but I don't necessarily think the same market that's Discotheque's main base is probably that base.
Maybe Fakuma put
but
it out.
there are a lot of people who during that Akira era of anime were introduced to Yoshika Doji and liked it. It really was a big hit in that era. It's
I will say it's an experience for sure. Like, you'll never see anything like it. Although some elements of it might seem slightly tame by today's standards, just simply for the fact that like tentacles and stuff like that have been around for a long time now.
By the way, given current events from last week, with Anthony Bourdain, there was the episode where we talked to Toshio Maeda.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Well, that's definitely some parts unknown if you've seen this show.
Yes. He's trying to explain, why that all went in.
Yeah. Yes. Now we're going to watch calamari porn.
Anyway, let's hit up the break.
Alrighty.
Right here on NTR Radio.
All right. That was great.
Okay, so I've got Annie chart. Do I need to put it sort by title, right?
Sort by title.
Yeah, summer, right?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, making sure everything's where it needs to be. Okay.
Annie chart. Annie chart.
Yeah, it's that Aniplex. Annie chart.
All right, whenever y'all are ready to go, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, hang on a sec. Ooh. Hopefully my voice isn't fucking up too bad.
Everyone actually doing really well considering the circumstances.
Yeah, alrighty. Yeah, I'm pretty much ready now.
Yep, just wait on VZ. Not the one. No, it's not the one. Is that the one? Nope. Not the one. No. Is this your card? Nope. Is this your card? That's my card.
Is your card the four of clubs? I remember I trolled one of my cousins with that.
And the card tricks?
Yeah, in the sense that like he kept asking me what my card was and I kept saying no. Even though he actually had it. Just because I wanted to irritate the hell out of him. Didn't really want to play that game. I thought that would make him stop. Doesn't look like there's quite as much as there usually is. Well, that's because it's summer.
Yeah.
It's usually spring and fall that have the bigger seasons there.
King.
Yep, we're here. Whoa, holy shit. Okay, ready when you guys are.
Got back to the soundboard. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to NTR Radio.
Now for our third and final segment. Now for something you'll really like.
We got the AnyChart.
If you want to follow along at home,
AnyChart.net/summer 2018.
you forgot the dash or the hyphen.
AnyChart.net/summer-2018.
You sort it by title, and there you go. Otherwise, it's just going to be a mess.
Otherwise, everything's going to be jumbled up and you're not going to be able to follow along.
And it won't
First
be in
anime.
alphabetical order.
Agu Tensai Ningyo.
From Studio Dean. Anybody watching that or planning on watching that?
No.
Okay, let's go. Angomoy, Genko Kasenki, by Naz. Interesting premise. Traditional historical epic surrounding adventure centers around a samurai defending Japan against the first Mongol invasion of 1274, which the wind kind of took care of them.
That's because you usually see samurai stuff take place much later.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. But Mongol hordes, that's a little different. Okay. Asobi Asobase.
Yeah, I think
that one I'm gonna.
It's by Lurch or Lurche?
Lerch.
Lerch. It sounds French. This is like your typical. This looks like your typical show of foreigner in Japan, because it says American descent girl is raised in Japan. Yeah, so it's probably gonna have like lots of random English words and stuff.
Looks
I saw the trailer for it. It has like a lot of wacky comedy. Like
I figured that's kind of where it was going. It says it's comedy, so
what's that word?
Slapstick.
Slapstick. That's the word.
Okay. So
The next show.
Backstreet Girls by JC Staff. This picture's kind of interesting. I like the chair.
So either we've reached peak idol anime or we're very nearing the peak idol anime because the premise of this show is ridiculous.
Yes, in the extreme. For those who don't feel like doing it, I think we can actually read this one because you'll see.
Yeah. A group of 3 Yakuza failed their boss for the last time. After messing up an important job, the boss gave them 2 choices: honorably committing suicide or go to Thailand to get a sex reassignment surgery in order to become female idols.
Okay, if that alone doesn't have you going, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, even amongst all the anime I've seen, this is still pretty out there.
After a gruesome year-long training to become idols, they successfully debut with overwhelming popularity, much to their dismay. This is where their tragedy truly begins.
This is comedy and ecchi, and also, holy fuck, are the doujins for this going to be hilarious.
Oh, I didn't even want to think about that.
Okay, the next one, that one might be curious just because of what the hell.
Oh, I've heard of the manga for this. This is like an 80s manga.
Right, it even looks like one too. Banana Fish, which not to be confused with Rumble Fish by S.E. Hinton or whatever.
It's supposed to be the drug in the comic.
Yeah, Mappa is the creator. This one's got kind of a weird. I like the fact that it says adopted heir and sex toy of Papa Dino Golzine, or like what? Yeah, you can see a lot of kind of the style is not very contemporary or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
I'll read this one.
Okay.
Chio Chan no Sugakuro. I'm gonna check this one out. The dramatic, extreme, going to school comedy manga follows the titular female high school student Chio Miyamo and her adventures to commute to school every day. Chio runs into problems big and small, such as construction, a biker gang, and the sudden urge to use the bathroom.
Also, you gotta love the name of this studio, Dio Medea.
Right.
Is it gonna be like Medeo, like House of Pain, or those things?
All I'm saying is I'm looking at this preview video and I have no idea what's going on.
Okay.
Like, there's one schoolgirl on the stripper pole. Next is one girl climbing up in between 2 tall buildings. Next is a first-person shooter.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to check this out just to have context for all this.
The next one's got kind of an odd name. It's Chuukan Kanriroko Tanegawa by Madhouse.
Oh yeah,
and it looks like Madhouse.
Yeah,
and it also looks like Kaiji.
That's
which is the gambling show, right?
Yeah. With,
yes.
What's that? What's the name of that game? Mahjong.
Mahjong. Yeah.
Mahjong.
Yeah. Okay. Since I don't really have much to say about that, if I wanted to watch it, I'd probably want to be more familiar with Kaiji.
Yeah.
The next one is Fooly Cooly Alternative, or FLCL Alternative.
Yeah. So this add-on.
Production IG, of course. It's more of that.
Can I be honest? I never got into FLCL.
It's fine. I have it.
I really liked the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any more needed to be made.
No.
It was okay for what it is, but yeah, that too. It's like, wasn't it just the thing was just meant to be an experimental thing for Gainax?
Yeah, pretty much.
To be like, we're just experimenting with stuff.
And then we have another free Dive to the Future from Kyoto Animation, so it'll look good. Again, Fujoshi bait, obviously.
Yep. Fujoshi social currency.
Which is fine. You know.
More Future Card Shin Buddy Fight. The 6th season of Future Card. Wow.
The 6th season, which of something I've never seen. And then you have we're going through these a little quick, but there's not a lot to say in some of the cases. Gintama, Ginno Tamashi Hin 2nd season.
I have never seen any Gintama. I know it's
Sunrise. I know it's real popular. Yeah. So I honestly would not really 100% be able to just hop into something like that anyway, because there's so much of it.
Right.
So
Although maybe because there's so much, it's the type of show that it's designed to. Maybe, I don't know. Those are always kind of like, because there are like that, but then there's also ones where you had to like see from the beginning.
Right. Or otherwise, it's just kind of like, huh?
Right.
All right. Moving on. Grand Blue by Zero G.
This looks like a free wannabe.
Yeah, that's
it really does
from that promo pic.
Yeah, it does. So if you're gonna watch free, just watch free. That's all I'll say about that. Moving on.
Next is Hanebado, the badminton anime.
Leiden Films or Leiden Films, however it's pronounced.
I might actually watch this because I used to go hard in badminton.
Yep.
Sorry. You would like that show, Anubis, even though it's more about like it's not quite badminton, but it's something similar. The one Soft Tenny.
Yeah, I remember back when that came out, and I remember like thinking I might check that out, but I never got around to it.
No, you would like that one. A lot of ecchi in that one.
Mm-hmm.
And Zebek.
Okay, moving along, we have Happy Sugar Life. This one it says it's drama, horror, mystery, and psychological, which you would not gather from this picture necessarily.
Sorry.
Quit playing with yourself, man.
He's dropping it.
Izola instead of Ebola.
In my studio, Ebola.
Yeah. The next one is Harukana Receive. C2C.
That's the one I said that you would like.
Yeah, I already like the idea. It's basically volleyball. I mean, this is just set up to be really really fun. Although I'm not really familiar with C2C. Does anybody know anything else they've done?
Nah.
No, okay. It's not like a main studio, so it's like, we'll see.
Yeah, it looks like all their other stuff is really off the radar. One-chan ga Kita.
Yeah.
Your Roommates 3D.
Okay.
Your Roommates 3D, apologize.
Oh, I remember that one. That one I remember, your Roommates.
This one has a really interesting premise. Hataraku Saibo by David Production. Read this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. The average body contains about 60 trillion cells, and each of them has work to do. But when you get injured, viruses or bacteria invade, or when an allergic reaction flares up, everyone but from the silent but deadly white blood cells to the brainy neurons has to work together to get through the crisis.
Heyo!
Oh, okay. So like this is...
It's like Dr. Mario, like the anime.
Personification of your cells.
Yeah.
All this actually sounds really cool.
Yeah, like I said, it's a comedy. Imagine the bathroom jokes.
Oh, okay. She's a red blood cell. All right. Yeah, I'm watching the thing.
Yeah.
Here comes the sperm
white
cells.
blood cell. Oh.
That's funny.
Here come the sperm cells.
This is cool. Yeah, no, I definitely might check this one out.
Moving on, this is another one that sounds
It's
like
Osmosis Jones. Thank you, Gray Force in the RSC. It's
Yeah.
like Osmosis Jones.
Yeah, it translates as cells at work.
Yeah.
the next one is High Score Girl by JC Staff. Not to be confused with High School. This has got a weird premise too because it takes place in the past.
Yeah.
1991.
Okay, I saw the trailer for this. It looks like ass because it's
Thank you, JC Staff.
because it's cell shaded CG, even for the actors.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not gonna say it looks like ass. They do cell shaded CG a lot better than some other anime of the past have done. Like there's clearly been improvements in that style, but less so than the CG. I think the character designs look kind of dumb.
Yeah,
Yes,
they do. Okay, this one's gonna be fun. Hayakuren no how to Sayaku no Valkyria rather. Yeah. EMT Squared is the name of the studio. Gotta like that. I like the description and the girls look cute, although their eyes make them look samey, but in this picture. But
kinda.
But it's kind of fun. It's Nordic myths and all that crap. Speaking of them, since we were talking about them earlier, might be a curiosity, but we'll see.
Oh boy, another isekai.
Isekai Mao Tashokan Shoujo no Dore Majutsu.
By
I take it back.
Aji
I'm
Ado?
still bothered by these long ass titles.
Yeah. I like the blonde. Of course you do.
Of course you do.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know a whole lot about this. That's looks like it says MMORPG cross reverie blah blah blah. Okay. The next one on the list is Island by Studio Feel.
Now this one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah,
and it totally looks like a chibi as death here.
Yeah, you said visual novel.
Yep. And this one has potential to be interesting just from the synopsis here. So I'll definitely keep that on the radar. Jashin-chan Dropkick by Nomad.
Well, that girl sure has a chainsaw.
Yep. So Anubis is already interested. She's in like a dress with it too.
Yeah, she's got like this gothic Lolita dress and a chainsaw.
So and obviously this is a comedy.
Yeah.
Clearly. I don't know. Doesn't have anything that stands out particularly other than that. Kyoto Teramachi Sanjo no Holmes by 7. This one is called Mystery. And you can kind of gather that. I mean, Holmes
in the title.
Yeah. And the visual style is a little different. They're more tall and slender, it looks like. Almost reminds me a little bit of some of I can't think of it right now off the hand. Clamp style a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, moving along.
Lord of Vermilion, Gurren no O.
Osreed or Osred?
I always pronounce that as Osreed. But
Assreed.
Assreed.
Yeah, and this is based off a video game. takes place in the future in Tokyo. Virus and you know, I mean,
Yeah, it doesn't look particularly interesting to me.
mhm.
More
Speaking of not particularly interesting to me, Marvel Super Avengers second season.
Yep. Thanks, Madhouse.
Next up, Muyo no Roji no Mahoritsu Sodan Jimosu.
And this one actually comes from a manga, so you can't nail it on this one.
It's not a light novel title. It's just long as hell.
Yep.
Still pissing me off.
Looks okay, I guess.
It looks all right, but it's like not anything I'm gonna be flocking to watch.
But you know what is my thing? The next thing.
Yeah.
Jojo.
TV. Yeah. Studio Dean.
Here's the thing. There was a single episode of this that came out in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
It was a thing that aired. I really liked that. They changed the character design style, but the girls that were there were still there or here, plus a bunch of new ones. So I'm gonna check this one out. I hope it's as good as that one episode thing. Which you would actually like that because if you liked Sakura Trick, pretty much had the same feel and style.
Okay, I'll read this next one. Oshiete Maho no Pendulum. Rilu, Firilu, or Fairly? Yeah. Yeah. Another Studio Dean.
The third season of Rilu Firilu, which is something I've never heard of up until this point.
Until I've seen this picture. So that should tell you what we all think about that. Okay. Overlord 3, third season of Overlord by
I'm not
Madhouse.
done with Overlord 1.
So, yeah, exactly. Phantom in the Twilight by Liden Films. Like the costume design.
It looks good, but yeah, it's one of those things that it looks nice.
Interestingly enough, it's actually filed under romance.
Yeah.
I could kind of see that. Planet With. That's just a weird name. JC Staff. This is Mecha, and it has no description whatsoever.
Oh.
So, although from a distance, you could almost think this would be a Sunrise production.
Yeah, for a second, I thought it was like something like Captain Earth.
Exactly.
That's the first thing I thought too.
Yeah, it looks more like a Bones almost. No, actually, it looks.
It looks like something Studio Bones would put out.
Actually, it looks like a combination of Bones and Trigger, because you know how Kill and what was the other one? Not Darling in the Franxx. Kiziver.
Okay, yeah.
Did like they love like the lens flare thing.
Right.
That's.
Well, I'll tell you that I'm looking at this preview video, and I feel like you, VZ, because this mech, the CG mech, is so out of place. Like usually they can at least make it look kind of reasonable, but it looks completely out of place compared, like, because it's in the same shot as some regular animated characters. So it ends up looking like a sore thumb.
Yep. All right. Satsuriku no Tenshi by JC Staff. Boy, they're cutting it thin this season, aren't they?
JC Staff.
I love the fact that the main girl, assuming that's her, named Rachel or whatever, is dressed like the fucking Hamburglar. I'm sorry. That you can't wear that outfit and not make me think of that. It's like, is her partner Grimace? Does she want a Happy Meal?
Make that a show.
Though, interestingly enough, this is actually horror, thriller, adventure, psychological under the tags. Interesting.
Moe Anthropomorphize of the McDonald's character.
No.
Let's do whatever's the opposite of that. Let's do that instead.
Yeah. Moving along. Senjushi TMS Entertainment. made this. Comes from a video game and looks like it did too. Almost reminds me of like Fire Emblem or something like that.
So
It looks
I was gonna say
the premise looks interesting.
Right. No, I'm just saying visually.
Sakura Wars.
Yeah, or that. Yeah, that's probably even more accurate.
Also, really looks like a Fujoshi social currency anime,
Yes.
which is not the reason I might check it out, but would be an advantage given checking out this anime. I don't know. It looks interesting, at least. I can get behind the premise.
And Shichisei no Subaru. Not to be confused with the car.
RPG. More.
By Studio Lurch.
Another isekai anime.
The main girl in the background's cute. The one that's like not in the foreground, but in the background there.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. This dude looks exactly like Kirito.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Like, are they even trying?
No.
More Shingeki no Kyojin. Yeah, more Attack on Titan.
I didn't finish the first Attack on Titan.
But there's more. So those who are watching it, there it is. Shinya Tensei Bakabon.
That's an old thing.
You can tell just by looking at it. That's definitely, for some reason, that looks like something that'd probably be more fun to look at as a manga. But that's just me.
Something I'm interested in. I'm gonna try this one out. Shoujo Kageki Review Starlight
by Kiname Citrus.
Yes.
First off, can we please stop putting stars and shit in the title? Like, or at least in the official title.
Well, okay. I'm fine with when they put stars in the title of the first anime they put out. My problem is when the sequel is titled the same title as the first one, but with
but it just like differences it with like exclamation marks and shit.
Some kind of other unpronounceable punctuation.
Yeah.
Like, remember the second season of Ori Emo? They added an apostrophe to the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't work. You can't pronounce that.
Or is the order the rabbit? See, the first one had 1 question mark. The second one had 2 question marks.
That annoys me on another level because people do that in like text messages where they put multiple question marks in the end of it, and
unfortunately,
I get multiple exclamation points. That makes sense.
The question marks.
More of a question.
But when I do see it, I do read it a certain way, and that's when they when they do the upward inflection at the end, which I hate, by the way. When people say things like "it's a question,"
I'm fine with the upward inflection when someone is actually not sure.
Can I read this?
Do it.
Yeah, the franchise centers on Starlight, the song and dance review troupe. Loved throughout the world. Karen and Hikari make
not the Karen from our podcast.
That they were one day they'll stand on that stage together. Time passes, and now the girls are 16 years old. Karen is very enthusiastic about the lessons. Takes her to holding her promise. Hikari transfer school now, Karen, but the cogs of fate turn, and the two are destined to meet again. The girls the girls and other stage girls will compete in mysterious audition to process into the review.
Mysterious audition. I don't like where that's going.
And I'm actually, the next thing is the thing I'm most pumped about for the next season.
Okay.
Sunaharaso no Karirin-san.
Yes. By Silverlink.
Yeah, straight show to the anime. Basically.
I'm down.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
100%.
So this one will cause trouble.
Hina Aki is constantly being treated like a girl due to his feminine look, so he decides to move to Tokyo to attend a middle school and attempt to change himself. However, what awaits him in his new home, Tsunohara So is the kind-hearted caretaker Tsunohara Ayaki, along with the three females of Aki's new middle school student council, Yukimoto Yuzu, Yashina Sumire, and Kazami Yuri. And so it begins Aki's new life in Tokyo, living. Hold on. It won't scroll down. All right, but you get the idea.
You had like one extra line.
And so begins Aki's new life in Tokyo, living with 4 girls. This anime looks amazing. I look at this preview and I'm like, okay, yeah.
I like how he's being crushed by their tits on the thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's kind of funny. All right, so that one will probably, at least, if nothing else, be good for shit disturbing.
Next up, Tenro, Sirius the Jaeger.
Yes, by PA Works. Yes. Wait a minute. Imperial Capital. Wait a minute. Akame got kill? No. Doesn't look like that, by the way.
Yeah. It's a vampire anime.
Yeah. There. And the Jaegers hunt them, by the way.
Yes. Hence
and apparently they also make booze. That's actually spelled different. That's got an umlaut.
Yes, indeed. Next up, Tsukumogami Kashimasu.
Telecom animation film. This is from the Edo period, it looks like.
Yeah.
This one looks a little more like it might be kind of fancier or pastoral or something. Just from the shot.
Yeah, it looks more like it'd be one of those highbrow type of shows.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
But again, nothing
wrong. I'd say it looks highbrow, but it definitely looks. I don't know. It looks like it's going for something.
Whimsical.
Yeah, it's more whimsical.
Okay.
Because like there's clearly some sort of spirits flying around and stuff.
Mm-hmm. This next one's a video game based show.
Yeah. Oh, more Fujoshi social.
Yeah. Yume o Koku to Nemoreru 100 Nin no Oji-sama. Fuck these titles.
I like this description because it really is. It's exactly what it says on the tin. A series aimed at women with the theme of romance with a prince that every woman dreams of. The game lets players experience love with 100 princes who live in the kingdom of dreams. Players solve puzzles to wake up the princes from their deep slumber. So they know exactly what they're going for, and they're not even mincing words about it.
No, not even kind of. All right. Yurugi.
There's a bunch of hot dudes.
Yurugi so no Yuna-san.
Yeah.
Zebek.
Because we got Zeke on our asses about that one.
Yeah, apparently. So yeah. Okay.
I don't want to give Zeke any more ammo.
Wah, wah, wah. This is your typical ghost story, it looks like.
Harem ghost thing.
Yeah. A little different, I guess. And then, of course, the very terrible-looking Zoids Wild.
Zoids Wild, which I'm not watching because there are only 2 seasons of Zoids.
Oriental Light and Magic, and no description, and it looks completely terrible.
Okay, so
I might try it out.
When the new Zoids was announced, I was kind of pumped because I was like, okay, maybe it'll be not like the last like 3 and actually be kind of good. Then I saw the mecha designs and like, okay, now we're riding on the Zoids. Guess who's no longer interested in any of that?
Are we going to skip the leftovers?
Yeah, we know what's airing.
Yeah.
Since we already covered that sort of thing, let's go to the shorts.
I'm not watching a single one of those.
No shorts?
No. Yeah. No, I'm talking about the
okay.
Oh, you know which one I'm.
Of course. We start off with Anini Tsukeru Kusuri wa Nai 2 by Fanworks. It's second season of something I didn't see.
Yeah, exactly. So second season is something I never heard about.
Comedy slice of life. Bang Dream. It's a porn. No. Girls band party. Man, that doesn't even make it sound any better. Pico.
Yeah, that's
Pico.
Yeah, that's the Bang Dream thing.
It's also got the annoying star. Again, it's a short. It's based off the game. There you go. And of course, this is where VZ is gonna squee.
Yes,
Cinderella Girls Gekijo.
Third
season by Gathering. This is
they can make this for infinity. You can just make season after season. I'll be there. All right. Because the part of Cinderella Girls is a whole bunch of idols that haven't been voiced yet. So
there you go.
Only just give them voices, and it could go on.
Next off, we have we have Hataraku Oni-san, number 2. Or no 2. Probably number 2.
It's number 2.
Yeah.
But the next thing is something you'll be interested in, K-Gods.
Yes, I was already gawking at it. By two movies or toe movies.
You know who that's drawn by?
Oh, yeah, it kind of looks like him a little bit. Yeah.
Although I looked at the character design, like actually in it, and it doesn't look like it. Like, so maybe just that cover drawing he
was
did.
his. Yeah.
Probably the cover of some manga or something like that.
Yeah, it looks like Satoshi's a little bit there. This is Joshi Ochi. Yukai Kara Ona no Koga Fute Kita? See? That actually has a question mark.
You want to fuck these 2 women? No.
This yeah, basically by Arc. Comedy ecchi, and it looks like it. Very nicely drawn though. It's from what I can see. The next one, One Room 2.
Yes,
by Zero G. I like the visual.
I still have to finish the first season.
Yes, I will definitely get to watching that. I've never seen. I saw a little bit of Yama no Susume when it first started.
And this is the third season.
Yeah.
By 8-Bit. Yeah, I have very little to say about this.
I don't know a thing about it.
The next one is Yami Shibai 6. The 6th season of Yami Shibai by ILCA.
5 others. I didn't know 5 others.
Yeah, exactly. So, kind of cool looking. I mean, the visual there, but I guess we move on now to the movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's hurry it up. Are we watching any of these movies?
One.
Let me swing through it.
You'll know right away.
I know what VZ is gonna say.
Non Biori Vacation.
Yeah.
That's the only one that looks like I would watch either.
Yeah.
Mainly, this is the only one I've seen that I could actually probably get anything from.
You know what the best part is? It's summer vacation.
It's a movie.
Yeah. That means they'll be in bikinis.
Okay.
That means we see Hitoru.
Boing. Yeah. Okay. And there's some other movies here that kind of look fanciful, like Penguin Highway or Mirai no Mirai. Might be interesting. But in any case, let's go ahead and wrap her up with the last of the thing, the OVAs, ONAs, and specials.
The only one that looks interesting to me is they're doing a new Queen's Blade. And a sort of style.
I'm definitely checking out Ia no Kao Sare Nagara Opansu Misete Moraitai.
Well, there you go.
What? A project featuring women in various outfits showing disgusted faces and
their underwear.
Wow.
Like, you know what's funny about that is there actually are art books of those.
Yeah, that's what this is based off of.
Not, but I mean real women.
Oh,
Oh, they're just making like.
Or what the art book's based off of.
You can
That's
make anything
pretty
into
funny.
a frame. That's the best.
Yeah, it's pretty.
All the other stuff looks like, all the other interesting stuff to me looks like OVAs of shows that I actually need to still watch before I
Yeah,
get to the
that's
OVA.
pretty.
Yeah, like Violet Evergarden
Yeah,
or
exactly.
something like that. Yeah. So
Takagi-san.
so that's gonna be probably about it with at least this.
Yes, we do have some mail.
Oh shit.
So let's do the mail.
You got mail!
This one's coming in from Drawing Girl, and it reads thusly. Hello, NTR Radio. I just wanted to say congratulations on your 100th episode. I also wanted to thank you guys for everything. I don't talk about it a whole lot, but this podcast has had a very positive impact on my life. First, because it cheered me up when I was going through a really dark time in my life around 2012 when I first discovered it. Second, because I've met some of my closest friends through this podcast as well. Some of the best people I've ever met in my life that I wouldn't ever have known about had I not found out about this podcast. Thank you. Congratulations on your 100th episode, and here's to 100 episodes more.
Oh wow, yeah. Ooh. I'm getting dizzy. Can you imagine 100 more of these?
Christ.
Anubis is like, no, I don't want to edit.
Oh, that said, I think that's a good note to close out on.
Yep. Might as well close it off on something positive, I suppose.
Yes, indeed. That's the show. The email address is ntrradio@gmail.com. The website is ntrradio.net. Hit up VZ stuff, vzmk2moemekigatai.wordpress.com. Hit up my stuff at yashike.moe. Get at me on Twitter at TAnubis, VZ on Twitter at VCMK2, KGods on Twitter at immortal_KGods. Check out the Bakagaijin Show and Otaku Midnight because both those are really good. Check out Yashike. I said Yashike. I'm talking about Shinikiba.moe for all your half-naked anime girl figures. I'm Tom Enforcer Anubis.
I'm KGods.
Not VZ Mark II.
And even though we keep it 100 every time we say it, this is NTR Radio.